Time of year, college football season. I've always been a proud Wildcat. As our firm has grown in Tucson with Ruben and Natalie Fernandez, I now cheer on 2 Wildcats every year. My alma mater of Kentucky, of course, and our U of A Cats. Here's to a great football season, and go Cats.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Hi, this is Mary with Mesquite Valley Growers. Mesquite Valley Growers has the largest selection when it comes to picking out gifts of living plants, flowers, trees, and cactus. Indoor, outdoor, for your home, your apartment, living gifts can go just about anywhere. Green plants of every size to create beautiful spaces indoors. And if you can't decide, you can always give a gift card. Mesquite Valley Growers on Speedway just east of Pantano. Open 7 days a week. Give the gift of living all year round with Mesquite Valley Growers.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station.
You're listening to the home of Arizona football.
Men's and women's basketball and baseball.
This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
Wait, what's the CNWT?
Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
David Amata.
Hey, that's Dragon Ball to you.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Mount Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names. David Scott Kelly.
And a great Wednesday afternoon to you. Hump Day. Although it's weird, it just doesn't feel right. We didn't have a show Monday, holiday, Labor Day. Hope you enjoyed yourself, ate some barbecue, ended the summer right. And we didn't have a show yesterday. There was some maintenance happening around the building here. So now we're back on a Wednesday, and this is our only full show this week because we've got NFL football the next 2 nights. The season is here. Starts tomorrow night. Rematch of the AFC Championship game. Baltimore Ravens, Kansas City Chiefs in KC. That'll be a 5:20 start. Our coverage will begin at 4:30. We will be out at Dave & Buster's tomorrow, and then Bear Down Fridays on Friday. So we're in studio today for the only day this week, talking sports with you. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. I got the fellas here, as always. J.W. Madden, Dragon Ball, David Amata. Cricket will join us as well. Cricket has tickets. We got a lot to make up for because we didn't have a show yesterday. So Cricket has tickets times 2 today for you to see your Arizona Wildcats take on the Northern Arizona Lumberjacks this Saturday night at the stadium. She is going to be giving these away. So we had our weekly meeting today, our biweekly meeting of the sports directors from around the company. And the one thing they said is appointments. Set appointments. You got to set appointments. Don't just say Cricket's got tickets in the 4 o'clock hour. Say Cricket's got tickets at 4:12 coming up. And 5:12 coming up.
So we're not allowed to go back to the old way of like cable companies. We're like, well, we'll be around 1 to 4.
They still do that, right? They still, every time my mom calls Cox Cable, they tell her they'll be there between 7 and 10. It's never an exact time. It's a window.
And they might be late.
Yeah. Oh,
so
yeah.
It might be
7 to noon. Could be late as noon. Knowing Cox Cable and how they operate. Hey, at least they got. Hey, at least Cox Cable has the sports teams. At least they have the Suns and the Diamondbacks and the Mercury. I don't have that. I still don't have that on my side of town. I got none of that stuff.
By the way,
I can't watch any of the Diamondbacks games.
Did you get a chance to watch your alma mater before the channel blackout happened?
Was there a blackout?
Before the USC LSU game,
I didn't know there was a
Off,
blackout.
there was a
right
renegotiation right before kickoff by Disney. So there was that whole thing going on.
I completely meant because I actually did not see the beginning of the game on television. I kind of picked up on it later in the first quarter. So I must have. What happened?
People couldn't get on.
They
couldn't get on DirecTV.
Wow.
It was completely blacked out.
There you go. Yeah. Well, that's I think they have I thought I read something about they don't have an agreement, right? Did they fix that? Did they get an agreement?
As far as I know, they're still at the table.
Oh, boy.
They're going to go
So
like
they
Trent
waited until
Williams.
right before kickoff to do that, huh?
They're going to go right like Trent Williams. They're going to wait until they get the exact reason that they go ahead and they head out.
Oh, my goodness. And then the Big Ten they don't have games on the West Coast. I mean, wait, what's the point? What's the point of having teams on the West Coast if the people can't watch the games? I don't understand that. And then I guess I have to break down and buy ESPN Plus this week because the Wildcats are on ESPN Plus. I still don't have it, so I guess I sent out a memo. I didn't get any positive response to my memo, so I guess I have to buy it myself. $11. All right. If I want to watch the Wildcats, I got to buy ESPN Plus this week. That's the thing I've noticed in these first 2 weeks. That's the thing I missed the most. Like, you can't watch anything. I can't watch the volleyball games at home. I mean, the Arizona stream, the live stream, that's ESPN Plus now, so I can't just watch that. I can't click on the link on ArizonaWildcats.com and watch the volleyball team play. I have to actually have now ESPN Plus just to watch that. They are milking me for every single dime. This new conference of ours, the Big 12.
There is some good news.
$12. They should have put it the big $12 a month that I have to pay to watch everything now.
There is some good news. Your job is to require to have ESPN Plus.
So I can write it off on my
Yes, you
taxes. Yeah, that's the plan.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's
Suddenly I've got a new thing to file.
Exactly, right? I mean, if I gotta pay for something for work, you damn sure I'm gonna write it off on my taxes. Absolutely. All right. So have you gotten the ESPN Plus yet? That's I didn't put out a question of the day yet, but that's going to be it. We asked that question a few weeks ago if you were going to get it. Now the question is, have you gotten it? Because we have a football game this Saturday that is on ESPN Plus, and if you don't have it, I don't imagine you're going to be able to watch it. You're going to have to wait for Arizona football Twitter to put up highlights on the Twitter so you can see what's happening with this football team. 520-848-1290. Have you gotten the ESPN Plus yet? Are you ready for this Saturday's game against NAU? I have not gotten it yet, so I guess I'll have to make that, do that here in the next 48 hours or so.
And just for update, yes, it appears that still right now there is no Disney-affiliated channels at all on DirecTV.
So how many channels? So ABC, ESPN, all the ESPNs, ABC, what else? What else do they own? Do they own any other stations of note?
They own all of Fox, do they not?
Is that
except for news? Yeah.
FX.
Okay.
That is officially off.
None of that. No, you got nothing. You got no NFL this weekend. You don't got Fox, right? The Browns will be on in this market. That's an awesome way to start this.
That's called negotiating leverage.
Yeah, because it was right at the end of the U.S. Open and minutes before kickoff between LSU and USC when the channels went black.
They just waited. They said we'll show those people. We'll show DirecTV. We'll just wait until DirecTV say we'll show them. We'll wait till the final minutes right before everybody's ready to watch some college football, and then we'll cut them off. That's why I never liked DirecTV. DirecTV is the rule of all evil. They are the rule of all evil in this thing. I never liked them for the way they did the Pac-12, and now they're doing other conferences like that.
If you want to point to one reason why the Pac-12 doesn't exist anymore, was it 12 years?
Yep.
14 years. I mean, after they launched, that nobody could get it on DirecTV. So,
And don't forget, and not just the sports. I mean, how is anyone going to get the Bachelorette?
Right? Oh, gosh. Oh. No wonder there was extra room on my DVR. That didn't record. Well, I don't have DirecTV, so it probably did record. So NFL football tomorrow night and NFL football on Friday night. We've got the Green Bay Packers and the Philadelphia Eagles live from Brazil. A lot more international games this year. NFL players, I'm sure they love that. Get on a plane and fly for 10 hours to play football. Yay.
I know my dad's actually kind of excited just to see what a football game is going to look like at Corinthians because my dad, he used to live in Brazil.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, he was a big fan. He's still a big fan of Colo-Colo. Every so often I'll come home and he's watching the Colo-Colo Soccer Club highlights on YouTube because he wants to catch up with the team that he followed back when he lived in Sao Paulo. So he's kind of excited to see what Corinthians is going to look like in a football atmosphere.
So this is a legendary stadium there.
Yes, that is the venue. The mecca of Brazilian soccer.
That's where Messi plays, and
Messi. That was more so.
Wait, Messi is Argentinian.
Messi's Argentinian, so they don't like Messi.
Who's
in
the
Brazil
guy?
Well, Brazil, their big guy recently was been Neymar.
Neymar,
he kind of fell off a little bit.
Messi, it's all the same to me.
I mean, one of my favorite Brazilian soccer players of all time.
All my soccer fans are going to be
There's
upset
a key
that I don't know the difference
in,
between Messi and Neymar.
There's a key difference. Both great. You know, Messi greatest of all time. Neymar very good. But the key difference is Neymar is known to dive when he's around anybody, and Messi never dives. They're completely different players.
It probably too is a discredit because of the fact that his ankle almost exploded in Leagues Cup.
If Messi faked a little bit of contact every once in a while in the box, he would have another 1,000 goals.
Oh
probably.
Yeah,
easily.
I know my friend Angelique Lozardi will be mad at me that I said that Messi played for Brazil. She's a huge Argentina fan. All right, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. So the Wildcats getting set for Northern Arizona this weekend. It'll be the 19th meeting all-time between these two teams. We are going to hear today from the defensive coordinator of your Arizona Wildcats, Dwayne Aquina. You will hear from Dwayne Aquina at 3:20 or so. Maybe closer to 3:23. You'll hear from Dwayne Aquina. Tetairoa McMillan, we had a chance to hear from him after his record-setting performance on Saturday night. You will hear from Tetairoa McMillan. And what time is that? Did I put that down for? I forgot already. 5:20? Is that what I put down for Tetairoa McMillan? Let's see. What did I put down there? 4:20. 4:20, maybe 4:23.
You mean the AP College National Player of the Week, Tetairoa McMillan?
The AP National Player of the Year. I want you. Let's. Why don't we get that 78-yard play ready and let the folks relive a little bit of what happened on Saturday. We haven't talked to the people. See, it just feels weird. We haven't talked to the people since Saturday night.
Difficulties.
That's just a long time ago. I feel like that was like a year ago now already that the Wildcats beat New Mexico in that game 61-39. But we'll have some more coming up on that as well. We're joined by the third member of our program. I'm sorry now. I see I got the numbers wrong already because there's more people here.
You're having trouble counting today too?
I am.
Okay.
It's like I tell you, it's weird. It's like this is the first time I've done anything since Saturday night. I feel like I've been gone for a week. And now we're back. But Cricket is here joining us. How are you, Cricket?
Good. How are you?
Very good. Any exciting things on Labor Day weekend that happened? Did you eat any good food over the weekend? Did you cook out?
No, didn't cook out.
No?
I did some laundry and yard work.
Gosh, more laundry, more yard work.
Went out and ate at Rosa's Mexican at Campbell and Fort Lawn.
Oh,
that's pretty good.
Campbell
Classic.
and Fort
Yeah.
Rosa's.
Rosas.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been around since
I've
the
not
60s.
been to Rosas.
That place has been around forever.
Really?
Long time, yeah.
Good
Yeah.
stuff there. What would you have?
Cheese crisp. It was like bigger than my
Cheese
head.
crisp?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was good.
All right.
You know.
Very nice. I've
What'd
never
you
been.
guys-
I have to check that out.
So you didn't do anything since like Saturday night?
Well, yeah, we had a game all day Saturday, and then Sunday I just kind of vegged a little bit.
That's good.
I vegged a little bit on Sunday, and
Sometimes,
what
yeah.
else did I do? I went. Gosh, I can't even remember what I did. It was so long ago. I can't remember
exactly.
what I did. I went and visited my mother. Yeah, I went to my mother's house. I went to the volleyball game. That's what I did. Sunday, the volleyball team played. I went and watched the ladies beat Tennessee State, my cousin's alma mater.
All right.
So, yeah, that was cool. And then Monday we had football, and I did some laundry.
See what I mean?
Gym tan laundry. That's what I do.
Gym tan
Yeah,
laundry.
just call me one of those guys from Jersey Shore. Right, exactly. Jersey Shore. I know all about that.
It's a Jersey thing.
South Jersey. That's my second hometown. Next, a week from today, is September the 11th. And there's every year here in Tucson a huge event that takes place on September 11th.
Yeah, it's the 9/11 Tower Challenge, and you can join us and, your colleagues and your neighbors and your friends Wednesday, like you said, September 11th at the Tucson Convention Center to climb the same number of steps as the World Trade Center towers, or as many as you can. You're not restricted to just do that number.
Right.
It's to memorialize, get us all together, memorialize the brave first responders who ran toward danger that day in Manhattan, New York, on that tragic day in American history. The proceeds benefit local first responder and military charities, and of course, your generous general donations also accepted. You can register today, 9/11towerchallengefoundation.org. And again, Tucson's annual 9/11 Tower Challenge, Wednesday, Tucson Convention Center.
All right, so that's next Wednesday, a week from today, at the convention center. Have any of you ever done this event? I've not done it. They used to do it at the stadium.
At Keno, yeah, I've done that one.
Oh, they used. I think when I first moved here, they did it at Arizona Stadium, because I can remember the first couple of years I was here, they would always be at Arizona Stadium walking the stadium steps, which was very very steep and hard. But I've never done. Maybe I have to have this is on the bucket list of things I've never done. So I finally got to the rodeo this year. So I think I'm going to have to go and do this and get this off my bucket list too, and honor the folks that ran to the buildings in New York City and Manhattan that day and lost their lives. So for sure, just a great event that they have. Thousands of people show up every single year.
Yes, correct.
Down at the convention center for that. So put that on your list of things to do a week from today in the morning. All right, Cricket gets you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Traffic signals malfunctioning at 1st and Roger Road and 1st Avenue, flashing 4-way reds. And then I believe as a result of those signals malfunctioning, then a collision 1st Avenue south of Roger Road, some slowing in that area. Other wrecks, McGee west of Oracle at McGee and Northern, and collision 1st Avenue and Wetmore. An excessive heat warning 11 a.m. tomorrow until 8 p.m. on Friday. Highs near 107. It is 103 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
What's with the earmuffs, Gary?
Holy cannoli. I just got back from a house with the loudest AC I've ever heard.
In other words, it wasn't installed right.
It must have been installed upside down for all that noise.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
If your air conditioner sounds like...
It could sound like...
We stop vibrations so your AC runs smooth and cool.
People all over Arizona are singing about the Grizzly.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
Shh. Hear that?
I don't hear anything.
That means...
The Grizzly is doing its job, keeping you cool
with barely a purr.
We believe ACs should sound like this.
Because we do things the Alaskan way, not the cheap way.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.com.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence dyne test under high-load conditions versus API SP test limits.
You might wonder, John Legend, how do you keep your voice sounding so legendary? Honey. And how do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date? With a COVID shot this season, designed for recent variants.
You can get your COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC.
The fresher, the better.
Ask your healthcare provider about getting this season's COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
All right, she's inside. Are you good?
Yeah. It's just, she's my baby girl. You know?
I do, and ceramic coating was a good choice.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Yep, I know.
Recon Auto Detailing. Enhance or restore your baby to her former glory with paint recondition, ceramic coating, paint protection, tinting, and more for full protection of your vehicle inside and out. New cars, old cars, we love them all. Recon Auto Detailing, 3829 North Oracle Road, Tucson. ReconDetail.com.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
Up to a 30% upfront bonus and 12% per year guaranteed growth for retirement. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and these are the highest guarantees with annuities I have seen in my life. When interest rates are this high, there are silver linings, and annuity guarantees are one of them. Up to a 30% bonus upfront for retirement income. On $100,000, that's up to $42,000 guaranteed in the first year. And it's because of the economy and its high interest rates. Don't let anyone, especially another financial advisor, tell you it's not true. Up to 30% upfront just for opening an account and up to 12% per year guaranteed income growth. Don't miss out. This won't last forever. If you have an old 401k, get up to 30% upfront and 12% guaranteed growth for income today.
Call 321-4100. That's 321-4100. Guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
Cactus RV and Marine, now offering consignments on RVs, travel trailers, boats, trucks, cars, and SUVs. Sell without the hassle and let Cactus RV do it for you. Cactus RV and Marine is also a local independent service center, so they can help keep your RV, travel trailer, toy hauler, and boat in pristine condition and ready to sell. A true one-stop shop. Call now, 888-2233. Visit CactusRV.com or visit them at their original location.
This is Jim Rome with your Rome Report. I know it might seem harsh, and you could even call it punching down. You might even call it mean and cruel, but it's not like that. I actually love the White Sox. I cannot get enough of this team. And it's not sarcasm. I am seriously blown away and riveted by how terrible that team is. I have never seen anyone this great at being this terrible before, maybe in any sport. They're not just the worst Major League Baseball team ever. They're also the most compelling and entertaining horrendous team I've ever seen. They are the epitome of so bad, it's good. A slow-moving train wreck so awful, I cannot look away. So shockingly terrible that I cannot stop going back for more. Only the White Sox. Like I always say, give me an A or give me an F. And these guys are an F every single night. Keep it up, fellas. Football season is here, and Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action while watching football. The app is really simple to use. Pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your money. Download the Prize Picks app right now and use the code ROME and get a $50 credit instantly when you play $5. That's code ROME on Prize Picks to get a $50 credit instantly when you play $5. Prize Picks, run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
O'Reilly. Don't miss out on summer brake deals at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, get 15% off a set of Brake Best Select, Select Pro, or Import Direct brake pads and 2 rotors. Restore quality braking and improve stopping performance with parts and advice from the professional parts people. Save money now when you visit O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Looking to throw, looking to run. Nowhere to go now, being chased to the near side by Manu. Still turns, now he throws, and now it's picked off. Wildcats intercepted, and they'll take over the football at the New Mexico 44-yard line. How about that?
Yeah, that
G-Man.
That was Genesis.
Genesis Smith was one of 2 interceptions that the Wildcats had in their win on Saturday night over the New Mexico Lobos. That was at least one of the positives in the ball game. There were some negatives in the game as the Lobos were able to roll up 39 points, and their quarterback, Devin Dampier from Scottsdale Saguaro, threw and ran rampant in that ball game, causing a lot of concern within the Wildcat fan base. Probably too much concern for game one, but we'll dive into that coming up a little bit later in this hour, say about 3:43 or so. But right now, let's hear from the defensive coordinator, Dwayne Aquina, who spoke after practice today. We'll get his thoughts on the defense. And game one, Dwayne was asked what the biggest adjustment the Wildcats made was in the second half.
We had to go back to really our original plan from a while back, where the first concern was his legs, and his legs weren't involved in the last game, so we took a different approach. So we went back to what our original thoughts were, to help with all the legs that he got involved in the game, and where they became a field passing team, which was unique. Kid really played well. You got to give him credit now. He's going to be a good player.
And how do you think the experience against an athletic running quarterback will help your defense moving forward?
Well, I tell you what, you always want an athletic quarterback back there. I go back to when I was on offense. Those guys just bring a different dimension to the game, because if you have legs like that, you create an extra running back. The middle safety has to get involved in the run game. And, that's where them getting his legs involved was different from if you saw the stats from the first game. That was a good job on their part. So, we had to make some adjustments on that. But I thought he played really well. Him throwing the football was really different, because he threw some incredible throws. When you look at it, anybody can do whatever they want with the numbers. But when you average giving up 2.9 yards, I believe it was a carry in the run game, and 6.2 in yards per catch, which is the only stat you look at, that just said there was a lot of catching and tackle, because we're a one-high team. It's not catch and run. The two big plays they had, that 3rd and 20, you thought that ball was going to go the other way. We had two of our best football players right there, and give that kid credit. He made a play, the receiver. And a crack screen in man coverage was the other big play, which was a great call. They nailed the call. So, I give them credit. We got to be better now in terms of just the penalty situation. I am about the mental game, and you can't go 9 penalties for 100 yards. And a couple of those penalties extended drives, so that takes momentum out of the game. And I take responsibility for all of that. We've been, wherever I've been, a defense that plays with an edge, yet keeps its poise. So as much as anything, we have to work on that aspect of it, and then continue our discipline. And everything that's out there will fall in my lap with all these things we're talking about. But I think we're all taking account for everything. Our standard is very high there on the defensive side of the ball, and rightfully so. We're going to keep a high standard, but we can't lose sight that it was a great win, and it's hard to win in today's football.
Michael and Brian, just wondering that concept of getting vertical along the defensive line that you guys talked about coming into the season. When you face a quarterback like that, can you go sort of too far with that concept, getting too far upfield and leaving spaces?
No, the problem was we lost contain. People started getting out of their responsibility, So we should have had edges. We're bouncing the ball outside. But at times the young man was jumping inside. And so that goes back to the discipline. We had too many mental errors, which once again falls on the coaching staff. Whatever is out there, we got to do a better job of ensuring that we can keep edges, especially with an athletic quarterback. So, it was maybe people trying to do more than just their job. So that's been our focus. Just do your job this week, and we will be fine.
Brian and Troy.
So I think you used about 13 guys on the defensive line, and I'm guessing that's Coach Ciamalo that decides which ones are going out there. But just, are you comfortable with that large of a number, or do you think it needs to kind of maybe get pared down to 9 or 10 or something?
Yeah, it's early in the season, so, we want to, some of this is evaluation also. And so trying to keep defensive linemen fresh. We do believe we have I think I mentioned this before, we're encouraged with our defensive front. So you want to develop some depth in that position, because in this conference, unless it's changed from years gone by when I was last there, there'll be times they'll be playing 80, 90 snaps in a game, because of all the throwing game and all of that. We played 87 snaps this last game. That's a lot of football.
Troy and then Jason.
Out of the 87 snaps, I believe Tate Brown had 83.
Yeah.
Just your thoughts on his performance, being out there as the full-time starter for the first time.
Yeah, we felt like we should have subbed him more and Manu, and worked through. That's a position that we have to develop more depth. We have built in a dime package where Dalton can fall in there, much like they did with Irby a year ago. If you notice, we were playing with a defensive back at the other linebacker position. Running out on the field a year ago, our two linebackers didn't strike fear in you as they took the field, but after the first play, people knew how tough they were. So we have that ability too that we didn't go with in this particular game.
Jason and Justin.
That was the most snaps Rose Killebrew has played in quite a while. How would you assess his play?
I thought he did well. He's really growing. I think he's got a lot of upside. He's still a young corner that is growing, working to be more physical. When they got him in certain formations when he had to play middle safety, which meant he would have had the quarterback, those are all foreign to him, so we have to keep growing in that area. But it would be unrealistic for me to think he'd hit a home run at every at-bat. But I'm certainly encouraged after his first game.
Justin and Michael.
What do you think about the turnover sword?
I love that. I think that's a heck of a thing. And I don't know how others feel it. I like it more than, my good buddies at some other places started with a chain or sit on a crown or something like that. The kids really enjoy it. I think it's a neat aspect of the game.
And then Genesis Smith.
Yeah.
What do you like about him so far?
Well, he's just got unique ball skills. I saw that from him a year ago. What we had to do is, I just he reminded me of Justin Reed a lot. Coming out of high school, he would see ball, chase ball. And we had to curb that a little bit, that you have a responsibility. Yet the fine line is you don't want to take all those instincts out of his game. And so he has become much more disciplined. So now he's getting more leverage now to go play. But he's getting to the middle of the field and then working. So that's perfect for him when the quarterback starts scrambling. Now he can really get on people's eyes. Plus he can finish. That was a great, eyes to hand catch by him, which a lot of guys can get there, but they can't finish. He can finish plays.
Michael and Brian.
One of Coach Brennan's biggest worries going into the first game was tackling, because you just don't do that much tackling anymore these days in the off season. How would you assess how the defense tackled, and what can you do moving forward to improve in that area without putting your players at risk?
Well, not good enough. 16 for 84 yards. Those are all hidden yardage in there. And much like I was saying, if you tally it all up, what was it? 5 plays for 145 yards, I think is what it was, with the long run, 2 eye controls. So eliminating the big plays is critical. So that's always a staff discussion on how much do you tackle during camp. And, we'll revisit that again next year on how much you tackle. There's always that concern, but you have to tackle. You can drill all you want. I've done this long enough. Tackling live is always an issue, but you should get better. I'm not giving our players an out on that, or us coaches, because whatever is on the field we're responsible for. But I'm anticipating a better effort next time out of taking the extra step. That's one of the biggest things, to take your extra step. So now it's a chest tackle rather than lunging. But once again, now give that quarterback credit. He's going to make people miss. That's why you have to really chase the football, so you're not dangling guys out there in one-on-one tackling situations with a fast athlete that's really elusive.
Brian, and last question to Troy. If you had to give your overall defense a grade, what would it be for that first game?
I'll leave that up to you. For me.
Don't want to take Noah's just.
Well, a letter grade. I've never done that. No. Why would I start now? I've done this 44 years. I've never said this is an A, this is a B, this is a C. What I will say with you, we need to be better. Is that good enough for you? Yeah, because I think that's for the media. I think people say this guy's played an A or B. So, I'll let you give the letter grades. We just have to get better, and I think we all understand that as a staff, as a football team.
Last question, Troy.
Just wondering how, first game with the helmet communication and also the tablets and all that, how that played out during the football game. How did that whole operation go for you?
That was fine. I mean, that's more for the offense, much more for the offense than the defense. Because I think, who do you give it to? Do you give it to the linebacker that you can talk to? Well, he's got to talk to the corners, or he has to turn around to talk to a safety. Do you give it to the safety, who now got to reach down and talk to the nose guard, So what we have done, we still continue to work very similar, and we can give guys different notes on certain down and distances or, things of that nature. But I think that's much more beneficial to an offensive football team than a defensive one.
All right, Dwayne Aquina after practice today, defensive day down on campus, talking about some of the issues. I mean, look, it was game one. I think that they hit it on the head. I mean, you expect to see tackling issues in game one because they don't really tackle in practice at all at any level of football. Maybe they tackle a little bit in high school and in that, but colleges, they don't tackle. NFL, they don't tackle in practice. You can't afford to get guys hurt. So it's going to take you 1-2 games to get right with your tackling. And they can afford to do that. I mean, regardless of, New Mexico was a good team. They played much better offensively, I think, than many of us thought they would coming in. But you still won the game by 22 points, even with the 16, he said, 16 for 84, 16 missed tackles that went for 84 yards. You still won the game by 22 points. And now you've got this week, another week to work on your tackling, a game that you're probably going to win by 22-plus points. And you shore things up a little bit more in this game heading into Kansas State, which is your first real big test a week from Saturday. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. Get your thoughts on what you heard from Dwayne Aquina. We'll talk about the defense with J-Dub and Dragon Ball coming up next. DK on the sports tip. Cricket gets you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic. Midtown roadworks slowing you down east and westbound on Grant Road east of Country Club to west of Alvernon Way. Travel down to one lane, and also Dodge Boulevard south of Grant Road is closed, and downtown roadwork on Stone Avenue between Alameda Street and Pennington Street. And that's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The new Lux Cravings Box from Taco Bell with cheesy, crunchy favorites, chips and nacho cheese sauce, and a drink for just $7. Try it today at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time. While supplies last, price and participation vary. Drinks excludes freezes, tax extra.
Join David Kelly for Bear Down Fridays this Friday at Illegal Pete's on University from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. as we get ready for the Wildcats to take on NAU at Arizona Stadium this
is
Saturday.
More than a window store. The Window Depot is a one-stop warehouse with everything you need for your complete home remodel. Shop the aisles of pre-built cabinets in a variety of colors, granite and quartz countertops, sinks, skylights, and hardware to complete your project. Need a custom order? We can help. Our designers offer free design services and can special order everything you need for your kitchen or bathroom remodel today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
What's with the earmuffs, Gary?
Holy cannoli. I just got back from a house with the loudest AC I've ever heard.
In other words, it wasn't installed right.
It must have been installed upside down for all that noise.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
If your air conditioner sounds like...
It could sound like...
We stop vibrations so your AC runs smooth and cool.
People all over Arizona are singing about the Grizzly.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
Shh, hear that?
I don't hear anything.
That means
The Grizzlies doing its job, keeping you cool.
With barely a purr.
We believe ACs should sound like this.
because we do things the Alaskan way, not the cheap way.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from AlaskanAC.com.
Up to a 30% upfront bonus and 12% per year guaranteed growth for retirement. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and these are the highest guarantees with annuities I have seen in my life. When interest rates are this high, there are silver linings, and annuity guarantees are one of them. Up to a 30% bonus upfront for retirement income. On $100,000, that's up to $42,000 guaranteed in the first year. And it's because of the economy and its high interest rates. Don't let anyone, especially another financial advisor, tell you it's not true. Up to 30% upfront just for opening an account and up to 12% per year guaranteed income growth. Don't miss out. This won't last forever. If you have an old 401k, get up to 30% upfront and 12% guaranteed growth for income today.
Call 321-4100. That's 321-4100.
Guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
Cactus RV and Marine, now offering consignments on RVs, travel trailers, boats, trucks, cars, and SUVs. Sell without the hassle and let Cactus RV do it for you. Cactus RV and Marine is also a local independent service center, so they can help keep your RV, travel trailer, toy hauler, and boat in pristine condition and ready to sell. A true one-stop shop. Call now, 888-2233. Visit cactusrv.com or visit them at their original location on Romero, just north of Prince during I-10 construction.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Don't forget, tickets. If you need tickets to see the Wildcats play Northern Arizona coming up, Cricket's got tickets for you at around 4:12. She's actually got two sets of tickets. She'll give away a set at 4:12. She'll give away another set right around 5:12 today. So join us for that. We'll review our bets from the weekend. We've been tracking BetQL to see how good these people are that are giving us these gambling updates every single day. And I'm here to tell you I'm starting to lose faith in these people because we're not winning a lot of money with the BetQL advice. But we'll get into that a little bit later as well. All right, want to hear your thoughts on Arizona football. We haven't had a chance to talk about that at all yet this week. And here was my top takeaway in terms of the defense. And yeah, there were some issues up front in terms of pressure. Didn't get really much pressure on Devin Dampier. But again, Devin Dampier wasn't a quarterback who was standing back there in the pocket trying to throw the ball for a long period of time. I mean, he was pretty much drop and get rid of it. So I don't know how many sacks per se you were going to get on Devin Dampier. My biggest concern was, him being able to escape the pocket, losing contain, not setting the edge, as Glenn Howell and Kelvin Ifan said the other night. Now you let him have an opportunity to get outside. There was one play, in fact, the play where he scored on the boot and where he faked the ball. To me, that's the play that really stands out in terms of this defense losing contain, because essentially all four of your linemen, I believe the snap was on the right hash, all four of your linemen at one point were washed down to near the left hash. And you can't have that, because now he gets outside, and all you got out there to try to stop him is defensive backs, and they've got to make a decision. Do I go for the quarterback, or do I try to stay on this receiver who he might just throw this ball to? So there was some issues down front. But in terms of the passing game, I thought, for the most part, your defensive backs were in position to make plays on just about all of those balls, especially in the first half. he just threaded them in there. I mean, Devin Dampier, give the kid some credit. Played extremely well in all facets of the game. Probably the best game. I bet you if you go back and look at all his college games, that was probably the best game of his college career in terms of throwing, in terms of running. I mean, he put it in most instances where only Luke Wysong could catch the ball in that first half. And then he got greedy. And to me, that was the turning point in the game. He was in complete control until he got greedy. And that's what a young quarterback does. You start to feel yourself, oh, I'm the man. They can't stop me. I'm making every pass. They're guarding my guys, and I'm putting the ball right on the money. And then what did he try to do? He tried to scramble and make a play. He throws it away to Genesis Smith, who gets the interception. And like that, it was literally that was like that play. I think they had like 3 major defensive plays that took course, beginning with that play over maybe like the next 7 plays that New Mexico ran, getting 2 turnovers that led to points. So that was the turning point of the game when Devin tried to do a little bit too much. If he had just stayed within himself, he might have been able to keep New Mexico in that game for longer than they stayed in it. But he got greedy, and the Wildcats are too good of a team not to take advantage in those situations, and that's what they did. So I didn't have any problem with the coverage at all in the game. I thought the coverage was really good. The one thing, and we saw this in camp, Marquise Groves-Killebrew got hit with a PI early in the ball game because he doesn't look back. And I wish I would have been able to go to Dwayne today, because that was what I wanted to ask him, is if we're seeing a lot more defensive backs, corners specifically, not look back at the ball, which I always thought was like rule number 1. When you anticipate the ball's coming, look back. Look back. Try to make a play on the ball. But I think what we're beginning to see more is not look back, guys, and make a play on the ball, but make a play on the ball after it gets there. We're starting to see that more, where let the ball come down and then try to make a play on it and knock it away from the receiver.
I got a question. Do you think
and I'm wondering if that's the way they're beginning to teach long ball defensive back play
you think the
in football.
Instruction's different for a guy who's 6'4" versus a guy who's 5'9"? Because you're talking about a lot of the secondary for Arizona, tall guys. They may be, that whole looking back, I think, is anticipating because you're going to have to crouch and spring up to try to get up there to affect the flight of the ball, right? I don't know about the coverage and what they're instructed to do, DK. I do know the young man Dampier had a nice first quarter. I think a lot of Arizona fans are looking at that tie score and not really understanding what was happening. At the end of the day, 50%, about 6 yards per attempt. So, I mean, those numbers are not great. You can credit that secondary for, as you said, affecting a lot of those passes. Some of the ones he made, I mean, you said it. Wysong made some incredible catches, right? I mean, that was a part of it as well. I think first game jitters, I think all those things. I think a lot of guys playing together for the first time. I don't foresee this secondary, I think, is one of the strengths of that defense. So I don't foresee them having issues outside of potentially a drive or 2. But long term, for the most part, I think this is a very solid secondary.
The secondary is solid. The one thing that I will attest to in regards to the defense look overall, Dwayne Aquino mentioned it in his presser, there were 13 different defensive linemen who played in that game against New Mexico. The problem with that is there's not really enough consistency to figure out what your best pass rushing group happens to be. You're constantly switching guys out. In the end, guess what? A lot of rotation and a lot of, changing pieces. It works well in hockey. Doesn't work that well in football because you need to get guys on the field to get them a little bit more consistent, a little bit more in tune with, if I'm supposed to rush up the field, this guy needs to know what angle I go with in order to do the quick drawback.
I think unless you're Reggie White and you could just straight bull rush through anybody. I think a lot of it is like a pitcher. I think of it like a pitcher. You set up slider by throwing away hard fastballs away, right? So the idea of a defensive lineman, sometimes a move inside, right, might set up a spin outside like 4 plays later. So that interchanging, like you're saying, 13 different, obviously the idea of keeping guys fresh. But there is something to be said about guys staying out there in that many of those plays are really setting up the guy opposite from you from what's coming later.
Yeah, set something up. I mean, how many times did Dwight Freeney get sacks off of spin moves? And one time he got it because he faked the spin outside and just threw that shoulder out, forced the guy to jump out, and then he just went inside with a quick rip move and got to the quarterback. Certain guys just aren't able to go ahead and set up a lineman with moves that they can get to the quarterback. And that's probably the other big issue right now. When you look at what Dampier did in that game, let's make it very clear. New Mexico does not run an offense with design quarterback runs. Dampier did a lot of his damage on the ground by improvising. And even Bronco Mendenhall, in the press conference that he had after that game on Monday, said we can't get him hurt, so we're not gonna go with design.
Exactly.
So that was again another situation where defensive linemen are just not able to go ahead and set their contains as well as, and that's what Dwayne said. We just lost contain on a couple of those plays, and a lot of that could be linebackers just not staying on the spy quite long enough because they wanted to go ahead and help out with the tight end or something across the middle. The fact of the matter is that the defensive line, you need a little consistency there. I get we want to keep guys fresh, but you cannot overstate that some defensive linemen that have a long extended time on that field, they can set things up for a big play when you need it. And if you can't get that consistency and that, you can't have that setup, you're going to end up getting guys that are just out there, engage, and just hold and wait to see what happens. And if you want to get pass rushing, particularly with a lot of mobile quarterbacks, which we're going to see a lot of in the Big 12, you need to have a little bit of that defensive line mental game that linemen have to play in those situations.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call, you can text. Let's talk to Paul in Phoenix, our guy. You're on DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio 1290.
David Kelly, you're on fire today, my friend. I like that. I almost feel like I should just hang up and just keep listening because you're
David,
spot on.
Dragon Ball's on fire, not me.
Well, both of you, all you guys, like, geez Louise. Now, JW's probably gonna hate me and hang up on me or something like that because JW's like, Paul, let it go. But my anxiety, the anxiety what you guys are feeling as far as like the defense. Okay, my anxiety was exactly where I thought it would be before the game, and that was with our coaching staff. It's just so weird, and I know I got to let this go, but like I said last week, the previous used car salesman gave me a warm, fuzzy feeling about game day and all that stuff for 3 years. Okay, this is just game one of what I hope will be 20 years. Okay, so in that regard, I was pleased, yet because I truly believe this team has as much talent as last year's team, and last year's team played pretty well, okay? But the question is, how well do they play together? Now, I'm going to pick on one thing, and you guys are going to go, Paul, you got to let this go, but I'm going to pick on one thing. The first half, okay, the last drive, I think it was the last drive of the first half, where, if I remember right, there were 3 timeouts up on the board, okay? And if I also remember right, we were on their side of the field, okay? And we chose, again, this is just me talking, thinking, we chose to not use any timeouts, okay? Now, I get it. At the same time, I know we probably thought, well, let's get a field goal, get into halftime with a lead, okay? We don't want to give them the ball back with the idea that they've been kind of eating us up. But at the same time, I don't want a coaching staff that thinks like that. But again, I'm going to give them a little bit of, cut them some slack because it's first game, but I would have loved for them to have said, wait, guys, let's use one of these timeouts. And I know they didn't want to, but I thought, use a timeout. Let's figure out if the offense can get a touchdown instead. I'd rather go for the jugular and try to if we score a touchdown there, well, we'd be up by 7 going into halftime, right? And we get the ball coming out of halftime.
Right.
So to me, it's like, come on, guys. So I get it. And again, this is me getting used to these coaches because I'm way too vested in this stuff, way too invested in this stuff because I really like this coaching staff, but I think they're going to find out real quick. They have a lot of talented kids on this roster. And, I just would have loved to have seen one throw to T-Mac maybe or somebody else, Riley or somebody, in the end zone or something like that. But again, I think overall we played well. Like Coach Brennan said today, he thinks the biggest jump is between games 1 and 2 or games 2 and 3. I like that. I really do. I like that. And I think, hey, we're all growing with it together. You know what I mean? And I love Coach Brennan. I love he's just almost like, well, it's kind of like, I got to answer these questions. I'm not sure what you guys are really looking for, but I'll give you an answer that you think you want. But you could just tell he's kind of like, what do you guys really want me to tell you? It's game 1, and I'm kind of doing the same thing you guys are doing, kind of like, okay, how are we going to feel this out? And that's his job, I know, but at the same time, he'd much rather be out on the field, like I said last week. So, but guys, it was great. It was great opportunity to see the guys before the game and meet Tremaine Bondurant and all that. But I'll be back there again, and it's going to be a little more toasty in that stadium, I think. I don't know what this weather's doing to us here, but it is what it is. I'll be back on the bus again. This will be a round trip thing because last year I didn't have to do the round trip, but it'll be a round trip ticket this time, and we'll go from there. But guys, bear down, and J-Dub, I'm glad you didn't hang up on me. Thanks.
I would never, man. I would never.
Talk to you guys. Bear down, guys. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Paul in Phoenix. We'll dive into what he was talking about there. He was talking about that last drive of the first half. Wildcats got the ball with about 3:22 to go, and I think they ran like about 9 plays. They got it at the 45, advanced at 17 to kick the field goal there towards the end of the first half, and I think he would have liked to have seen a little bit more aggressiveness there. We'll talk about maybe why they weren't so aggressive on that drive coming up in the next hour. It's DK on the Sports Tip. I'm David Kelly. We've got JW Madden here along with our guy David Amata, who's got everything that's happening around Southern Arizona and the country in your sports update.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Wildcats Radio 1290. 2020 Sports.
Well, going for over 300 yards on the day, Wildcats wideout Tetairoa McMillan was named both the Big 12 and the AP Player of the Week. T-Mac says that he hopes that the performance is only the beginning for him and the team.
I mean, shoot, that's just a blessing. Just it's crazy to think that, that was my first game back. And just being able to do what I did, just huge testament to all my teammates and my coaches, just putting me in the right position to succeed. And, that's only the beginning. Hopefully we got a lot more games to play, and we're just trying to show the world that what we can do.
Again, while the big news for the return of first baseman Christian Walker started the day for the Diamondbacks, it was Ryan Nelson who came up big for Arizona as he struck out 9 hitters against the Giants to collect his 10th win on the year to open that series. Again, Game 2 against San Francisco will start at 6:45 for Arizona. And the Mercury are back in the playoffs after Kalea Copper went ahead and took charge. 28-point performance, while Natasha Cloud had to sit out due to suspension after technical foul accumulation. Deonta Rossi and company got their berth thanks to Chicago Sky's loss to the Aces. And that's your 2020 Sports Update here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic. Midtown roadworks slowing you down east and westbound on Grant Road, east of Country Club to west of Alvernon Way. Travel down to 1 lane, and also Dodge Boulevard south of Grant Road is closed, and downtown roadwork on Stone Avenue between Alameda Street and Pennington Street. And that's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rockin' K is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 18 model homes by top-tier builders, offering move-in ready homes and special incentives. LiveRockingK.com. proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Wildcats Radio 1290 is proud to support your Arizona Wildcat football team as they continue their season with another home game this Saturday at Arizona Stadium.
This week, the Cats take on NAU. Kickoff is scheduled for 7 p.m.
To get your tickets, visit ArizonaWildcats.com or call 621-CATS. For more University of Arizona Wildcat football, including a complete schedule and link to buy tickets online, log on to WildcatsRadio1290.com.
Sean Furrier here for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Whether you're new to Arizona or you've been driving here for decades, we all share the same roads and the same extreme driving conditions like extreme Arizona heat, extremely large potholes, some extremely flooded roads, and there's always extremely distracted drivers, pedestrians, and that guy who drives a scooter backwards into oncoming traffic. You're driving in the world's largest video game, stopping, starting, turning, heating up, and cooling down. And that's just your afternoon commute. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's 14 award-winning locations have been helping drivers just like you get home safely for over 60 years. With top quality tire brands, no hidden extras, and one low price. Jack Furrier has everything you need to stay in the game, like wheel alignments, batteries, brakes, air conditioning, service at prices that won't break the bank. Ask a neighbor or friend about Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's friendly service, or stop by, make an appointment online, or call ahead to the local's choice. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
My helmet saved me after they crashed into my motorcycle, but I still couldn't ride for weeks. The insurance company tried hammering me into a quick settlement. No way! I gave them the bird, the eagle. Goldberg and Osborne. Nobody knows Arizona like the eagle. Phoenix to Tucson, Flagstaff to Havasu, and every bit of blacktop in between. Wherever you go, the eagle is there. So if you've been injured, don't wait. Give the insurance company the bird.
Give them the bird. Call the Eagle. Goldberg and Osborne. 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
Wildcats Radio 1290 and Goldberg and Osborne, the injury lawyers, are proud to support the University of Arizona radio broadcast. Your Arizona Wildcats take on NAU this Saturday at Arizona Stadium. Get all the info at WildcatsRadio1290.com.
Your home for in-depth conversation.
Nothing they do is by surprise. They telegraph what they want to do, and then they brag about it afterwards. It's a way to keep us at each other's throats.
The most pressing issues.
This was just a white on black crime, and you can already see the narrative starting to form in real time.
And fresh perspective.
The air marshals will not be on the airplanes because they're down at the border escorting illegal aliens to their Ubers.
America's most loved truth tellers live on Tucson's home for conservative talk. This is Freedom 1400.
Cantina nachos, strawberry watermelon margaritas, a few zombie kills, and all your favorite sports teams live. When your day calls for some winning, it's time for Dave & Buster's, where you can eat, drink, play, and watch all the sports you want. They've got massive HD TVs, hundreds of the hottest new games, a chef-crafted menu, and an incredible list of beers, wines, and cocktails. So remember, if your day calls for a little victory, a little triumph, a little win, it's probably calling for Dave & Buster's.
Cactus RV and Marine. Visit their original location on Romero north of Prince during I-10 construction or cactusrv.com.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. The one and only home of the Jim Rome Show. Rich Eisen and DK on the Sports Tip.
Oh, game on. Did I say that? Sorry. Game on.
We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
Wait, what's the CNWT?
Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
David Amata.
Hey, that's Dragon Ball to you.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but three first names, David Scott Kelly.
Can Tetairoa McMillan possibly duplicate in week 2 what he did in week 1?
My question. Cats on their opening drive of the season, and Fafita out of the shotgun will take the snap, back to throw. Here comes the rush, steps up in the pocket, rolling right, fire on the right, got a man open, McMillan, nobody's going to catch him, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Arizona.
That's what happens when you blitz Noah Fafita. He finds T-Mac naked in the middle of the field, drops a dime on him, and he just walks into the end zone. Big time play by Arizona, and Arizona goes up 7-0.
How do you lose track of number 4? That's my question, Lamont.
I have no idea. That's the guy you should have 3 people covering, but for some reason he was by himself.
That reminds me of ASU last year when he just was running and nobody was around him. I'm like, do they not know who this kid is? They're not gonna guard him naked, says our guy Lamont Lovett.
Got to read the scout, right?
Yeah.
I loved it because Coach Wade, he said it as much as like, we were kind of surprised at the coverages they threw at T-Mac early. We were really surprised. And when they asked him, have you ever seen T-Mac do anything? I was like, yeah, I was on the opposite end of it back when he played against the Sun-Devils.
Exactly.
I mean, how much single coverage do you think he's going to get this year?
I can't imagine he gets much more
Right.
after this game.
For anybody that gets the tape, they won't do single coverage on him that often. There will be a safety kind of hovering out to the sideline because they want to keep him from getting the jump ball.
Now, you never want Michael Jordan as your decoy, right?
No.
But at the same time, that will open up so much of the rest of the field for all those other skilled players, right? So, I mean, his 300-plus yards receiving and National Player of the Year in Week 1, he will be on the scout at the very top of every single page along with Noah from here on out. So they better read that scout, and he will see brackets or whatever. Like, he's going to see multiple guys at him for sure.
But, going back and watching the tape again, and this was evident that night, and just to see it a little bit closer, the thing that just stood out to me was his ability to, and I'll use the boxing term, stick and move. I mean, to put his foot in the ground and make cuts on guys in the open field to change directions to get that 170-plus yards after catch that he was able to get in the game. That's just a new dimension to his game that really could propel him to elite status if he's got the ability to make guys miss in the open field like he did in that game against New Mexico.
Couple, but the best catch and run after was probably the one he came up just short.
Oh, yeah.
The one he came up just short. I have that one, too.
Let's hear that.
Here's the snap. Fafita straight back to throw. Over the middle. Caught by McMillan. Inside the 20. Dodges the man at the 15. Cuts back to the 10. He's at the 5. Dives for the goal line. He is short by half a yard.
This is ridiculous.
I mean, that might have been the best play of the night. It wasn't the longest play, but Tetairoa McMillan, my goodness, what moves.
Yeah, I mean, the moves are just unbelievable. Unbelievable what I saw. It's like, man, this guy has just added something new. You're going to hear from Tetairoa McMillan in this hour coming up about 4:23. We'll have Tetairoa McMillan and his comments from yesterday over at the facility after his, again, award-winning performance, Big 12 Player of the Week, AP National Player of the Week, 5th straight 100-yard receiving game for Tetairoa McMillan, and now he gets to do that against an FCS team in Northern Arizona coming. I can't imagine what that defensive coordinator is trying to figure out in his meeting room.
There's one more accolade was, second most receiving yards in Big 12 history?
Yeah, second most receiving yards in Big 12 history. First Big 12 game for the University of Arizona, and they already put a receiver at the top of the list or near the top of the list in receiving. So pretty impressive. I want to go back to what Paul was talking about at the end of that last hour and why he wanted to maybe see the Wildcats take maybe a few more liberties on that final drive of the first half. Now, granted, they already had 24 points at that point. It was a tie game because New Mexico did what they did, and Devin Dampier had done what he did. But I think one of the reasons, and I thought there was a great post that was put out by our guy Blair Wills earlier this week, and I think one of the reasons why they did not maybe try to take that chance at the end of the half was because they'd had so many quick drives leading up to that, where it was to the point where your defense was spending a lot of time on the field in that first half, and obviously not necessarily playing up to the snuff that they really had wanted to play. So sometimes as an offense, you got to say, you know what, we're gonna do our defense a solid here. We're gonna keep control of this ball for a little while. We're gonna maybe try to run this half out if we can run it all the way down to the end and kick a field goal, knowing that we're gonna get the ball back on the other side, like Paul said. That's going to allow our defense to have a really, really long rest.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what they were trying to do in that situation because, I mean, look at the play count. They ran the ball. They threw three passes on that drive, but for the most part, they ran the ball with Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt and Quali Connolly to try to get the running, because the running game really at that particular point was not. They really hadn't had enough plays to try to really get into a running situation, and I think that's really what they were trying to do there at the end of that first.
All those things go together, and I'll tell you why. You can be a victim of your own success, right? So, like, the first drive was 3 plays in a minute 14 with that touchdown from T-Mac. The second drive, Arizona had the ball for 2 minutes and 17 seconds, ran 4 plays. Yeah. Third drive, 1 minute and 50 seconds for 6 plays. 6 plays, 1 minute and 50 seconds was their third drive. Then they had a field goal. That was the long field goal. 4 plays for 1 minute and 152 on their intercepted, 30 seconds on their third touchdown. And that final drive, that field goal, was the only one over 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Right.
So you talk about running the ball. They clearly made a concerted effort to run the ball late in the game. They were, they were salting away the lead. They had a big lead. Ran the ball quite a bit there in late, especially fourth quarter. But when you look at that first half and those drives, you talk about the defense staying on the field. A lot of that had to do with T-Mac's 60-yard receptions and them scoring in
quick
under
strikes.
2 minutes. Yeah.
Quick strikes. So they had to at least give the defense a little bit of a blow, let those kids catch their breath. And that's another reason why I think we saw so many defensive linemen rotating in there, like the different lines, as he was saying, to use the hockey analogy, trying to find the right mix. And they're still looking for it. I mean, I think the other thing that, if there's one thing, the thing that really worried me coming into camp was what this line was going to look like. I think I thought it was a little bit dangerous that they came out in the last week of camp and said, oh, this line is going to be better than we think it's going to be. And then obviously they didn't come out and play that way on night 1. So now you look a little bit worse for your wear there. The other thing that was a concern for me is the linebacker play. Who is there after Jacob Manu? And I'll harken back to that one scrimmage that we saw in where the defense in the red zone just got absolutely torched by the offense. Like, literally, I think they ran red zone, and the offense scored like 5 touchdowns. And Dwayne Aquino was livid. And that was a night when Jacob Manu was not out there because they weren't really playing him a lot in the scrimmages, obviously, to not get him hurt. And you ask yourself, well, who's if he goes down, who do you got? Who do you got in the middle of that defense? And right now, that's my biggest question mark. I don't think they've got enough guys. And Aquino even said so. They didn't even really play any of their other linebackers in that game the other night. So that's something going into this week. They're going to have to get some more linebackers in there, get some of those guys like your Jared Small, like Mr. Justin Flo, some reps in there because those guys hardly played in that game on Saturday, and you got to have them ready, or at least a couple guys ready when you go to Kansas State here in a week and a half.
Well, the big statistic I always look at for defensive line play, and maybe this is just because of all the years I watched between, in terms of the professional game, the Ravens and the Steelers and things like that, is tackles for loss. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest bar to set for a defensive line. And it doesn't need to be defensive linemen getting the tackles. It just needs to be the team getting tackles for loss. Because that means that the defensive line is holding up their gaps. They're forcing the running backs to have to readjust, or they're getting behind the line in case the quarterback is doing a designed run, making them have to adjust to say, okay, where can I actually go with this right now? As a team, the Wildcats only had 3 tackles for a loss the entire game. That's a big barometer to see where this defensive line is in regards to where we want them to be once we get to conference play. Once they get that bar set, I'm looking at this game against NAU, at least 6 or 7 tackles for loss to at least be a bonus from the last time out. Then we get to that point, and then we can start building on it. It's like, okay, this is where we got those, and this is why these tackles for loss happened.
And I'll give Tay Brown some credit because it was him who was on the edge and strung out Devin Dampier and turned him around and forced him into making that blunder of a throw that was intercepted by Genesis Smith. So again, you gotta look at the positives and the negatives, and that was definitely a major positive for Tay Brown in that particular ball game from the linebacker position that led to the first turnover that to me turned that ball game Saturday night into Arizona's control. All right, we can talk about that. 520-848-1290. You're going to be hearing from Tetairoa McMillan coming up here at about 4:23. But right now, the fourth member of our team, she is back. And Crickets got tickets to Saturday night's game between the Arizona Wildcats and the New Mexico Lobos. But as it works here, you don't just get to have these tickets. You got to bring your Arizona football knowledge to the table to get these tickets.
Mm-hmm. So this is your chance to win 2 tickets to the game on Saturday night at Arizona Stadium. You have to know, like you said, some football history or U of A football history. Answer this question, and you're going to go to the game. So this will be the 19th all-time meeting between Arizona and Northern Arizona. The Lumberjacks beat the Wildcats here in Tucson back in 2021.
Don't remind us of that.
I'm sorry. This is for the sake of a game.
Okay.
How many times in the 18 games played has NAU won against the U of A? Again, how many times have the Jacks beaten the Cats in football? The first caller with the correct answer going to the game Saturday night, 520-848-1290.
You know, there was one person among us who smiled quite largely that particular day. Do you know who that is?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
Look to your left.
Who might that have been?
Oh, are you alumni?
I'm an alumni for the NAU
The
Lumberjacks.
alumni
So is Shannon.
The alumni
So is
grad
Shannon.
of
This is
NIU.
true.
What do you call what do you guys call yourselves? Jacks of all trades or something of that
That's
nature,
just the
or
Lumberjacks. You know what I
Lumberjack
mean?
trades.
We walked around. We walked around the state with our shoulders flexed back a little bit after that one, but that one didn't last too long. Because if I recall correctly, we got that game paid back in tenfold the next time we saw each other.
Yeah, that is something. That is something for sure. And you know, I know quite a few NAU grads, so you guys are generally good people, from what I know. Generally good people. Generally good people. And apparently, you guys have a very good nursing school up there because I've talked to quite a few. I've talked to quite a few young ladies at these schools that are going to NAU specifically for nursing.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of folks that go in there for nursing and for school teaching degrees as well.
All right, let's go to Aaron. Aaron, let's see if Aaron has the answer to the question. Aaron, ask the question one more time, Cricket.
Oh, yeah, wait, hang on. Yeah. Sorry. I put my notes away. I want to get this right. Hang on. Please hold. Please hold, Aaron. Okay. Yeah. So how many times in the 18 games played has NAU won against the U of A?
0. This was the first time beating us in 2021.
You said, so one time is what you're saying, Aaron?
Before 2021, they had never beaten Arizona.
Okay. Aaron, that is incorrect. But thank you for calling. Oh. So Aaron did not get it right. Let's go to Mike. Mike, how many times have the Jacks beaten the Cats?
I'm going to say 2 total.
2. Mike is correct.
Yay. Thank you. Thank you.
Mike, stay on hold. We're going to get your information. You're going to the game. Who are you going to take? It's a pair of tickets. Who are you going to take to the game with you?
I'll probably take my lovely wife, who's a U of A fan.
There you go. What's her name? Shout her out. Shout out your lovely wife.
A shout out to Michelle Moreno.
Michelle Moreno. Okay. Hang on the line, Mike. Appreciate you calling. Cricket's getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
And from the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Grant Road and Mountain New Wreck reported westbound, slowing westbound Grant Road at Mountain Avenue. Traffic signals malfunctioning at 1st and Roger with northbound backups on 1st Avenue at Roger Road. An excessive heat warning, 11 a.m. tomorrow until 8 p.m. Friday. Highs near 107 tomorrow, 104 now. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
It's Mattress Firm's best sale of the year, Labor Day sale. Save up to $900 on select adjustable mattress sets from Stearns & Foster, Tempur-Pedic, and Sealy. Plus, get up to a $300 instant gift for pillows and more.
What's with the earmuffs, Gary?
Holy cannoli. I just got back from a house with the loudest AC I've ever heard.
In other words, it wasn't installed right.
It must have been installed upside down for all that noise.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
If your air conditioner sounds like...
It could sound like...
We stop vibrations so your AC runs smooth and cool.
People all over Arizona are singing about the Grizzly.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
Shh. Hear that?
I don't hear anything.
That means...
The Grizzly's doing its job, keeping you cool
with barely a purr.
We believe ACs should sound like this.
Because we do things the Alaskan way, not the cheap way.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from AlaskanAC.com.
Nothing they do is by surprise. They telegraph what they want to do, and then they brag about it afterwards. It's a way to keep us at each other's throats.
The most pressing issues.
This was just a white on black crime, and you can already see the narrative starting to form in real time.
And fresh perspective.
The air marshals will not be on the airplanes because they're down at the border escorting illegal aliens to their Ubers.
America's most loved truth tellers live on Tucson's home for conservative talk. This is Freedom 1400.
Sean Furrier here for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Whether you're new to Arizona or you've been driving here for decades, we all share the same roads and the same extreme driving conditions like extreme Arizona heat, extremely large potholes, some extremely flooded roads, and there's always extremely distracted drivers, pedestrians, and that guy who drives a scooter backwards into oncoming traffic. You're driving in the world's largest video game, stopping, starting, turning, heating up, and cooling down. And that's just your afternoon commute. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's 14 award-winning locations have been helping drivers just like you get home safely for over 60 years. With top-quality tire brands, no hidden extras, and one low price. Jack Furrier has everything you need to stay in the game, like wheel alignments, batteries, brakes, air conditioning, service at prices that won't break the bank. Ask a neighbor or friend about Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's friendly service, or stop by, make an appointment online, or call ahead to the local's choice. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
What up, Tucson? This is Joseph Blair, former Wildcat and assistant coach of the Washington Wizards. When I came to play basketball at the U of A in the 90s, the Tucson community became and has always remained a special part of my life. And this is why I proudly joined the Meridian Wealth Management Tucson Advisory Business Council. If you have financial questions or concerns, please be sure and call my friends Natalie or Ruben Fernandez at 719-1433 or visit online at Meridian Wealth LLC. And as always, bear down, Tucson.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Cactus RV and Marine. Visit their original location on Romero north of Prince during I-10 construction or cactusrv.com.
I'm Taylor Bishotti with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Jamar Chase's status is still uncertain heading into Week 1 for the Bengals after the wide receiver showed up at practice in street clothes again on Monday. He and the Bengals are in talks to get a new deal done, which would make him the highest-paid receiver in the league, according to NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport. Head coach Zach Taylor saying, "We'll just take it day to day," when asked if Chase would play Week 1. Meantime, Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy announcing Cooper Rush will be the team's backup quarterback behind Dak Prescott. Trey Lance will be the third on the depth chart heading into the 2024 season. The 49ers placed rookie wide receiver Ricky Pearsall on the non-football injury list and will miss at least the first 4 games of the season after being released from the hospital on Sunday. Pearsall suffered a gunshot wound to the chest during an attempted robbery last weekend. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Guess what, people? Wendy's has new saucy nugs. You heard me. Wendy's nugs now come in 7 saucy flavors. Buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, spicy ghost pepper. You can literally hear your taste buds after every bite. I'm serious. Listen to mine. Okay, that's just me playing with sound effects, but you got the idea. For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's.
Participating U.S. Wendy's.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Our thanks to Mike for calling in, and he is going to the game on Saturday night to see the Wildcats and Northern Arizona.
Mike said he listens to our show all the time. He's never called and won anything from a radio station before.
First time.
That's awesome.
That's
I love
awesome. Very awesome. I remember the first time I won something. I entered my name to win a 10-speed at McDonald's, and I won it. And I remember they called me up, and I got to go back up there and take my 10-speed home. Man, that was
the first
time
I ever
my life.
Came to this building was 5 years before I started working here because of, I think there were wrestling tickets or something up in Phoenix.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like
geez, we need to up our game. Well, we haven't gotten any wrestling tickets to anything up in Phoenix lately.
Well,
they
they're
had
all
any
giving away
wrestling
by,
up in Phoenix lately?
Instagram influencers now, and that didn't exist back then. So,
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Cricket has more tickets coming up at about 5:12. So join us then if you didn't get a chance to get the question this time. Cricket, she's a smart one. I'll tell you what, she already told me she's got another question for you. I think this question's kind of easy, the one coming up at 5:12, but we'll see. She's got another question for you coming up at 5:12 for you to win tickets to see the Wildcats and the NAU Lumberjacks, David Amato's alma mater, coming up. How about your alma mater winning 66-6 over some school I've never heard of? If you thought I never heard of Lindenwood, I definitely have never heard of Lincoln. From where's that? Oakland, California, or something? Where's Lincoln at?
I couldn't tell you. Again, when
Certainly
you're going,
it's not in Nebraska.
When you're going to like FCS schools, getting the first tune-up game, you're talking about nearly junior college levels exposure for those football programs. So I couldn't tell you who NAU played in their first game.
Even the coach was like, I don't know what I can what I got out of this tape.
So I was here the day after with Dragon Ball, and he was so conflicted because he works for a company that represents the U of A.
Right.
But he wanted to smile ear to ear the entire day, but he was kind of repressing it a little bit. It was quite a fun day for me watching David Amata because he was so excited that his alma mater had won a game here for the first time. But it was also, that was in the midst of some dark times. So,
yeah.
No, I was very much walking on eggshells and just thinking to myself, oh boy, I'm really gonna do my best to not try and come off as if I'm stoking any fires. Like, oh no, they played a good game. I mean, everybody played.
It's
well.
like your uncle who beat you in pickup basketball 1-on-1 your entire life, and then one day he sprains his ankle, breaks his ankle, or whatever. He's out there on crutches, and you finally beat him the one time. Do you gloat about that? It's like, I mean, they won, and that was not the best Arizona Wildcats football team probably to represent the university in a long time. But you were so happy that day, and I was very happy for NAU and the Lumberjacks having that moment for sure.
I will give you a hint. Our next, I think Cricket said her next question might just so have to do with this young man who had a record-setting performance in the game on Saturday night that the Wildcats won over the New Mexico Lobos.
Sure, I'm not really worried about what I did. I'm just mostly looking about what the team did. We got a lot of areas to fix, obviously. We got NAU this week. Coach has been preaching about how, teams make the biggest jump from week 1 to week 2. So, sure, we gotta prove to the world that, that we are a ranked team, we're a good team, and sure, we gotta just go out there and prove it.
Have you ever had a 300-yard game before?
Nah, never.
First time with the offense with Dino Babers being the offense coordinator, first came out. How did it feel out there, and how did the communication go in terms of the headset and just the total communication throughout the game?
Me personally, I don't have the headset my helmet. But I think the game went pretty smooth. I feel like not too many people get to do what we did last night. The other night, and we have confidence in Coach Babers to call the right plays and put us in good positions to be successful.
What did you gain from all that work you did on the side during the training camp?
Oh, just how blessed I am, man. Not too many people get to do what we do. There's a lot of people in the world that dream to be in the position that we are. Just me being out for a little while, just in the back, just seeing what everybody else is doing, and football being taken away from me for a little amount of time, just really just allowed me to be grateful for the whole situation. Just every opportunity I get, God has blessed me with amazing things and amazing opportunities, and hopefully I can go out there and do His will.
The play where you outran the defense, was that kind of one of those ones that you and Noah have a thing where you just knew that spot wasn't right and you needed to go somewhere else and he saw you?
Yeah, for sure. It was funny that we were talking about this yesterday. We were just rewatching the play, and I was just like, man, is this like one of our best chemistry moments right here? We speak about it a lot. Just our relationship off the field is correlates to on the field, and you can obviously see that in that play. Just him knowing that I was going to the next window, and me knowing that he was going to throw me to the next window. It was just night and day, and I'm just happy we made a play.
Were you surprised at how little they were doubling you? That it was single almost all the time or zone?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure, I was surprised, but I got to expect that every week to get double coverage. But that just opens up everybody else's opportunities. It's just at the end of the day, it's just not me playing the football game out there. There's 3 more receivers on the team, so it gives a chance for everybody to be successful.
What's the origin story behind yours and Noah's touchdown celebration?
Oh, no, there's not really no origin story, but we've been doing this since we was 14 years old. So every chance that we get to score 6 points together, him throwing me the ball, or hopefully me throwing him the ball someday, who knows? But every chance we get to do our little handshake after a touchdown is just a blessing. Not too many people get to do what we do. I think we just kind of put it together when, we were just little kids, just having fun, 14 years old, like I said, 8th grade, just out there just, man, we need to come up with something, so that's what we came up with.
So you had 176 yards after a catch. It seems to be, an element that's been added to your game. What do you attribute that to?
Oh.
So many yards after catch.
That's to everybody. Coach Babers put me in the right position to be successful. Cole throwing me the ball where I needed to be. And just Coach Bobby and just the whole coaching staff encouraging me to be, a high caliber player that I'm supposed to be. I think my mindset is a lot different from last year. My mindset is just to make plays as much as I can. And it's a lot different from last year, like I said. And but I got to give testament to all my teammates and my coaches.
Michael, and then last question for T-Mac from Jenna in the back.
What are your personal and team goals for this season?
Oh, man. Team goals, Big 12 championship, national championship, personal goals, break every Arizona receiving record there is.
Last question for T-Mac to Jenna.
What does it mean for you to get the first football Big 12 offensive line and then also the AP National Player of the Week?
That's just a blessing, it's crazy to think that, that was my first game back, and just being able to do what I did, just huge testament to all my teammates and my coaches, just putting me in the right position to succeed, and that's only the beginning, hopefully we got a lot more games to play, and we're just trying to show the world that what we can do.
That was one heck of a performance.
300+ yards, that's crazy.
I'm telling you, he's really good.
Yep.
He's really good.
Really, really, really good. I don't know how many reallys you got to throw in there, but man.
Looking forward to watching him the rest of the season for sure. Tetairoa McMillan talking a little bit earlier yesterday actually, out at the facility. He wasn't the only one that came away with some weekly awards this week. How about the freshman over for Arizona volleyball, Carly Cisneros, was named the Big 12. They don't call it Freshman of the Week in the Big 12. They call it Rookie of the Week in the Big 12. So we'll have to get used to that. But Carly Cisneros is the Big 12 Rookie of the Week for volleyball.
There's freshman, rookie, and newcomer.
Yeah.
Is another one I've seen as well.
She had 34 kills. That's almost a little over 3 kills per set. She hit 373. Now, if you're not familiar with the hit average in volleyball, it's very similar to baseball. You want to be hitting high, and that's a pretty good average. If you're hitting 373, you're having a really good weekend at the office for Carly Cisneros. First game of the season, she recorded a double-double, 13 kills, 16 digs. Sunday against Tennessee State, my cousin Tracy's alma mater, 13 kills, 13 digs for Carly Cisneros. The ladies are headed to Alabama State down in HBCU country. They're going to be at the ASU Collegiate Cup. That's Alabama State ASU.
That's an unfortunate name.
Alabama State ASU Collegiate Cup. They'll start play there tomorrow. They're going to face Alabama State. They also will face Alabama in the last game of this particular tournament. So they'll get an SEC team there at the end.
You think Alabama State's rival calls them the school down south if they're South Alabama? We just call them the school up north, and they're north of us.
Yeah. Well, those people in the South, they're all different. I mean, they believe USC is in South Carolina. That was very prevalent when I lived in North Carolina back in the day.
There's only one USC.
There is only one USC, but don't try to tell those people that. They'll fight you.
Don't even get me started.
And then they'll fight you, and then they'll start talking about Hootie and the Blowfish.
Now, that's a good song. That's a good band, though.
There you go. Join me this Friday to Legal Pete's on University from 3 to 6 as we get you ready for the Wildcats to take on NAU at Arizona Stadium on Saturday night. We bear down on Friday no matter what. Doesn't have to be a parade. Doesn't have to be a celebration. Wherever we go, it's a celebration. So if we're going to be on Main Gate Square this Friday, it's going to be a celebration. Come on down and join us from 3 to 6. I'll have more tickets. Well, I should say Cricket gives me the tickets when we go down there. Sometimes she gives them to me. Sometimes she keeps them for herself, and she will give you the opportunity to win the tickets. So we'll see. But she gave the tickets to me last week and let me kind of do the work for her. So I'll have more tickets, or she'll have tickets for you coming up this Friday. So bring your thinking cap. Bring your thinking cap at 512 because she's going to have tickets for you today. Another pair to give away today, but you got to earn them. Our appearance at Illegal Pete's for Bear Down Friday is sponsored by Corona for fans of the fine life. Isn't that what Snoop Dogg says? What's the La vida más fina? Is that what he says?
Yeah, that's
on that
right.
commercial?
That's right.
La vida más fina. I'm going to start saying that every time we read this, just go because I like the way that sounds. Official corporate sponsor, Corona is, of Arizona Athletics. Cricket is getting you home.
I was just going to say, Snoop's part of our family now, right?
He is. He is part
Reference
of the family.
Snoop as much as possible.
Yeah. Mr. Arizona Bowl himself. I still have not done the taste test on the gin and juice. I've got to do that. Maybe I'll do that this weekend. Well, maybe I'll wait till the bye week since we don't have anything going on that weekend. I can just do the taste test for the gin and juice. So you weren't here, Jay. We'll get into it when we come back. I'll tell you what's happening on all of that. Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball's been gone a year. We got to bring him up to speed on everything that happened while he was gone. All right, Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic. Midtown roadworks slowing you down east and westbound on Grant Road east of Country Club to west of Alvernon Way. Travel down to one lane, and also Dodge Boulevard south of Grant Road is closed, and downtown roadwork on Stone Avenue between Alameda Street and Pennington Street. And that's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic.
This report is sponsored by ChumbaCasino.com. Play social games online for free. Head to ChumbaCasino.com now to join the Chumba fun and experience the thrill of the Chumba life. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. An important message about your timeshare from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800-761-0000. 800-761-0000.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Up to a 30% upfront bonus and 12% per year guaranteed growth for retirement. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and these are the highest guarantees with annuities I have seen in my life. When interest rates are this high, there are silver linings, and annuity guarantees are one of them. Up to a 30% bonus upfront for retirement income. On $100,000, that's up to $42,000 guaranteed in the first year. And it's because of the economy and its high interest rates. Don't let anyone, especially another financial advisor, tell you it's not true. Up to 30% upfront just for opening an account and up to 12% per year guaranteed income growth. Don't miss out. This won't last forever. If you have an old 401k, get up to 30% upfront and 12% guaranteed growth for income today.
Call 321-4100. That's 321-4100.
Guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
Cactus RV and Marine, now offering consignments on RVs, travel trailers, boats, trucks, cars, and SUVs. Sell without the hassle and let Cactus RV do it for you. Cactus RV and Marine is also a local independent service center, so they can help keep your RV, travel trailer, toy hauler, and boat in pristine condition and ready to sell. A true one-stop shop. Call now, 888-2233. Visit CactusRV.com or visit them at their original location on Romero, just north of Prince during I-10 construction.
This is Zach Gelb with Sports Minute, sponsored by BetMGM, the sportsbook board in Vegas. Please gamble responsibly. We're 2 days away from our first 2024 NFC matchup of the season, with the Eagles taking on the Packers in Brazil. As for my 7 NFC playoff teams this year, I have the Eagles, Lions, Falcons, and 49ers winning their division championships. And as for the 3 remaining wildcard spots in the NFC, I'll roll with the Rams, Packers, and Bears. I'm Zach Gelb.
Arizona football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown, and he throws an awesome block so his teammate can score instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. Everyone knows the most exciting part of football is the score. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. Place a first touchdown scorer wager today. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years of age or older to wager. Arizona only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program. Again, Cricket's got tickets coming up at 5:12. A chance for you to go see Arizona take on New Mexico this weekend in football. I believe, that's the Wildcats football team is home this weekend, and I mentioned volleyball team is on the road. Soccer is home tomorrow night at Murphy Field at Mulcahy Stadium against New Mexico State. So a chance to see those ladies. They are 4-1-1. They split their road trip last week, drawing at Pepperdine and winning at Cal Irvine. So the ladies back home on the pitch tomorrow night. Let's tell you about the latest with your Arizona Diamondbacks, who have been playing okay, but not great.
Diamondbacks download.
Baseball stuff! Baseball stuff!
All right, the weekend with the Dodgers did not go really as we hoped that it would go. The Snakes lost 3 out of 4 to L.A., and, I mean, if they had not won Sunday, and they won big on Sunday, but they were, like, staring at being run out of the race on Sunday before they were able to bounce back at that game before losing Monday.
At least
but
they got to see record-setting performance.
They did by your guy.
Not my guy, but Shohei, first 43 guy. It happened during that series, right?
43.
Yeah, he stole 3 bases in one of those games.
Yeah, that's right. He did. I think that was.
I was like shocked when I started seeing his stolen base numbers for this year, so I had to go back and check his career, and this is like twice as many as he's ever had.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes to show that, again, when he's pitching, he doesn't want to be running. You want to save your energy.
True. Yeah,
that was the whole thing with pitchers back in the day when they had to hit, because now we have to protect pitchers. They're not allowed to hit.
But, like, guys, we're all, we've all been around baseball enough. Obviously, DK, more than all of us combined. But the idea of a person potentially challenging for the lead in home runs and also among the leaders in stolen bases is not a thing.
There's only one guy in the history of baseball that had ever even been close to having that kind of capability, and that had to be Ricky Henderson. Like, that has to be the only guy.
Canseco, wasn't it? Had the first 40-40.
He had the first 40.
He had some wheels when he was younger.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he could move a little bit. For a guy that's that guy who's, like, trying to hit home runs every single at bat.
Does he get to 50-50, you think?
I mean, first 43 guy, you might as well. I'm sorry to derail your Diamondbacks.
You got to go for it, right?
Sorry to derail your Diamondbacks thing here, but like
fine.
Shohei is just crazy.
You got to go for it, I think, if you have the opportunity to go 50-50. I mean, I remember when we were talking 50-50, we were talking 50 home runs, 50 doubles, not 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases.
And most teams right now, you've got about 25 games left. So he can get 7 stolen bases and 7 home runs in 25 games. I think there's a chance at that.
Well, there was only really one positive that came out of the one win by the Diamondbacks over the Dodgers, and it was this.
Randall Grichuk led off the inning with a double. Here he is in the same inning, trying to go 2 for 2 off for Blesky. Here's the first one. Swung on, hit well to center. Long run, Kiermaier going back. He's at the track. He turns, looks, it is gone! Into the overhang for Randall Grichuk, his 6th homer of the year. And it's a rout early for the Diamondbacks. 8-0 Arizona.
And the Diamondbacks will go on to win that game, but again, lost 3 of 4 to the Dodgers. On to San Francisco to open up a series last night, and in the very first inning, Randall Grichuk and more.
And Grichuk smokes it to center. It backs up McRae, still backing up to the wall, and it's gone. Randall Grichuk makes it 3-zip Diamondbacks.
Just hammered a mistake pitch, a fastball.
Homered in the first, his 7th of the year. Grichuk gets it in the air, left field, there it goes. Randall Grichuk to the wall, and it's gone. He's hit another one. Boy, is he hot.
Hot indeed. The last 7 days, he's 9 of 15 with 4 home runs and 9 RBIs. Randall Grichuk, a 2-jack night for the big slugger. This was a 7-1 game at one point. Then it got dicey down the stretch, and Justin Martinez, the new closer for the Diamondbacks, has been walking the tightrope quite a bit of late, and he was in trouble again in the 9th inning.
He's a strike away. They have had to walk a high wire. Giants with 4 in the 8th, 1 home in this 9th. 2-2. Got him! J-Mart shuts the door, and the Diamondbacks have a win in the opener here in San Francisco. They hang on by their chinny chin chin.
Well, can I exhale now?
Yes, you are allowed.
What a great split finger to end this game. I mean, that was his best pitch of the night, and he threw it in the most important pitch of the game.
I mean, that young man, Justin Martinez, is growing up fast. He's had to grow up fast because they just kind of stuck him in there, and it hasn't always looked great. But when you got stuff like that, I mean, he threw a 101-mile-an-hour inside fastball and then came back with that split finger off the edge. That's tough if you're a hitter.
The whole bullpen for the Diamondbacks has really been the microscope for this club for like the last month now. You need somebody to step up, and hey, why not the young kid that doesn't know any better? Just go out and throw your best stuff and see if you could get some guys to chase or just look at you and wonder, wait, did you throw that? There's no way you threw that. You're way too young to be throwing stuff like that.
They had to calm him down because he got a little hyped up out there. They had to go out right before that bat and have a little bit of a meeting with him. But you mentioned just, he's been a little bit up and down. But A.J. Puck has really been the guy that's kind of solidified, I think, that the back end of that rotation since they got him from the Marlins in the deal. I mean, he only faced one batter last night, lefty-lefty matchup, came in, got the strikeout. And then they handed it over to Ryan Thompson. And Thompson's been pretty solid, but not last night, as he gave up the 4 runs in that 8th inning. But you get the win, 8-7. Afterward, Torey Lovullo on Randall swinging Grichuk.
He's hot, and when he's hot, he can carry a ball club. And the 2-run home run let us exhale a little bit in the dugout after a little bit of a grinding series against the Dodgers and a tough homestand. We got out to an early lead, so I think we collectively felt better, and we just kept pacing it. And he did a great job. Had a couple of hits and a couple of home runs, big moments.
Ryan Thompson got the start. He's been the best starter in this rotation as of late. 6 2/3 innings. Ran into some trouble in that 7th inning when the Giants got the 4 spot. I'm sorry, in the 8th when the Giants got the 4 spot. But he allowed 2 earned runs on 4 hits, had 9 strikeouts, throwing 102 pitches last night. Torey on Ryan Nelson and what he's done of late.
He's emerging as one of the guys we look forward to every 5th day. And he's grown and he's learned so much over the course of, 20-plus starts that he's given us this year. And he's locked in right now. He's throwing the ball extremely well. So tried to wiggle him through 7. It just didn't happen. Another quality start for him and a big win for this team.
He's got now 5 quality starts in a row. Has Mr. Ryan Nelson, and that's allowing 2 earned runs or less in those 5 starts, of which he's pitched into the 7th or further in all of those starts. The Diamondbacks have won a few, lost a few. They're 3-2 in those 5 starts, but they've all been very tight games. The ones that they've lost were both run-one affairs. And the good news, as we heard a little bit earlier in David's update, Christian Walker back in the lineup last night for the Arizona Diamondbacks. He has been on the disabled list, talked before the game about not wanting to rush it to come back.
It's a fine line for sure, but the timeline says trust it. All the good valued opinions around me say trust it. So that's hopefully it's not an issue. I'm looking forward to being back.
Went 1 for 5, drove in a run, struck out a couple of times. Did Christian Walker, Lourdes Gurriel now to the injured list for a 10-day stint. But good to have Christian Walker back in this lineup.
It's good to have him back. Eventually, you'll go ahead and see him really have more control of that swing. If I'm not mistaken, it was an oblique injury that sent him to the injured list. So definitely going to be something to go ahead and try to get that full rotation that he really had. Again, you're talking about the one guy in the lineup that really was on the cusp of being an all-star this season. Mm-hmm. You need to have that in the lineup if you want to go ahead and make a run here once you get to October. And real quick, I want to just say, you saying that Randall Grichuk is the slugger is the funniest comment one can make. The man, in the amount of days that we've had in September, that's 3. He has 3 home runs in as many days as September has had already. Right. And he's eclipsed the overall highest home run by month already 3 days in the month. He only had 2 home runs a couple other times this season in 1 month, calendar month. Now he's got 3 in 3 days.
You just described the literal Diamondback season, right? I mean, there's been guys who have stepped up for a 2-week stretch, and then another guy steps up for another 2-week stretch. It's just been, they've been exchanging, and the bullpen issues you talked about, that was more pre-All-Star break. Ever since then, it's just been a different guy seemingly every other couple of weeks who's stepping up into that role of being the hero.
Well, and we said we thought we get a Diamondback Player of the Month, but it wasn't Jake McCarthy. It was Corbin Carroll. Corbin Carroll is your National League Player of the Month for August. How about that?
Just to have him kind of come back to what his form as we were expecting it to be after his impressive rookie year. It's nice to have him finally start to get back in the swing of it. I think it's that old adage of sometimes you just hit a wall and you just need to rest for a bit.
TK, like, there's 2 things going on here, right? You press a little bit when you get some attention, and number 2, pitchers start pitching you a little differently, right? Like, you start getting awards, and you start being the best hitter on an opposing team, and you're going to start getting pitched a little bit differently. So he's had to see a lot of that different stuff this year.
11 home runs, 24 runs batted in, 30 runs scored for Corbin Carroll in the month of August. He had an OPS of over 1.042 for the month. So he is your National League Player of the Month. He ranks 6th right now in the league with 102 total runs scored, despite the fact that he has struggled offensively for most of this season. So congratulations to one Corbin Carroll. Game number 2 of the series with the Giants is tonight. It is a 6:45 first pitch. Zach Gallen on the bump for the Diamondbacks, 10-6 with a 387 earned run average. He will face Hayden Birdsong, 3-4, a 5.14 earned run average. Right now, the money line favorite with Zach Gallen on the mound is your Arizona Diamondbacks at -135. The over-under on this one is 7.5 tonight, 7.5 on the under at -115 if you're betting on your Desert Diamond Casino book scoreboard. Just don't use the odds by BetQL because we're 4-10. We're 4-10 in Major League Baseball using their suggestions over the course of the last 2 weeks. Yeah, the Reds. Yeah, I don't know if they've won on the road since we took that particular bet right there. But we'll run down the list of all our 5-star college plays. How that turned out, that was not great. Overall, we're losing big.
You didn't take any Florida State games, did you?
We did not bet the Florida State game. No, we took the wrong bet on USC. They gave us 2 bets. They gave us USC +6. And the over, we took the over, and it was the under that came in. We should have taken USC in the 6 points on that one. We'll dive into all that coming up, 5 o'clock hour. Also, Cricket's got tickets at 5:12. Be here for that. DK on the Sports Tip. I'm David Kelly, along with JW Madden and our Lady Cricket, and David Amata, who's going to tell you all about what's happening in the world of sports.
Wildcats Radio 1290. 2020 Sports.
Wildcats receiving coach Bobby Wade had high praise for star Tetairoa McMillan after his recent performance in the season opener, saying that he wanted T-Mac to work on strengthening his finishing this season, and so far it seems like it's paid off.
His finishing. I really challenged him this offseason when I had the opportunity to go back and watch all of his games, went back and watched all of his practices. And that was one of the major things that I emphasized with him was finishing with the football in his hand. That's who I know he is. That's what his capabilities at. And, I was super proud of him really pushing that point.
Again, Arizona now turning their attention to Northern Arizona University. And again, Arizona baseball, the Wildcats have their official exhibition slate has been released, and fans can see that they'll be opening the year at the Texas Tournament in Arlington. They'll battle up against Clemson, Louisville, and an old nemesis in Ole Miss. Again, Ole Miss and Arizona met back in 2021 during the College World Series. Bengal star wideout Jamar Chase looks like he'll be in the mix potentially for the team's season opener against the Patriots. He participated in his first official practice this week after sitting out most of the preseason and all the training camp sessions. Chase has been eyeing a new contract with the club after 2 years left on his deal. That's a 2020 Sports Update here with Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic. Midtown roadworks slowing you down east and westbound on Grant Road, east of Country Club to west of Alvernon Way. Travel down to 1 lane, and also Dodge Boulevard south of Grant Road is closed, and downtown roadwork on Stone Avenue between Alameda Street and Pennington Street. And that's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need at the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they're guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Over the years, LearnerRow has helped over 150,000 injured people recover billions of dollars for their injuries and over $1 billion in the last 5 years alone. What does that mean to you when you're looking for an attorney to handle your personal injury case? That means that LearnerRow is a law firm that not only has experience, but the proven results to recover money for your injuries. The insurance companies know which attorneys won't put up a fight. When you call us, we call them, and they know they have to pay.
LearnerRow is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. Two powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
Marco
Polo. Hoping to find new customers online can feel like playing Marco Polo in the dark.
Plumber.
Right here.
Plumber.
Right here. Let Cumulus Boost help spotlight your business. Boost your website. Boost your findability. Boost your reputation. Boost your business. Get a boost. Get found. Get on the map. Contact us today at cumulusboost.com.
Sean Furrier here for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Whether you're new to Arizona or you've been driving here for decades, we all share the same roads and the same extreme driving conditions like extreme Arizona heat, extremely large potholes, some extremely flooded roads, and there's always extremely distracted drivers, pedestrians, and that guy who drives his scooter backwards into oncoming traffic. You're driving in the world's largest video game, stopping, starting, turning, heating up, and cooling down. And that's just your afternoon commute. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's 14 award-winning locations have been helping drivers just like you get home safely for over 60 years with top quality tire brands, no hidden extras, and one low price. Jack Furrier has everything you need to stay in the game, like wheel alignments, batteries, brakes, air conditioning, service at prices that won't break the bank. Ask a neighbor or friend about Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's friendly service, or stop by, make an appointment online, or call ahead to the local's choice. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
Up to a 30% upfront bonus and 12% per year guaranteed growth for retirement. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and these are the highest guarantees with annuities I have seen in my life. When interest rates are this high, there are silver linings, and annuity guarantees are one of them. Up to a 30% bonus upfront for retirement income. On $100,000, that's up to $42,000 guaranteed in the first year. And it's because of the economy and its high interest rates. Don't let anyone, especially another financial advisor, tell you it's not true. Up to 30% upfront just for opening an account, and up to 12% per year guaranteed income growth. Don't miss out. This won't last forever. If you have an old 401k, get up to 30% upfront and 12% guaranteed growth for income today.
Call 321-4100. That's 321-4100.
Guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
Cactus RV and Marine, now offering consignments on RVs, travel trailers, boats, trucks, cars, and SUVs. Sell without the hassle and let Cactus RV do it for you. Cactus RV and Marine is also a local independent service center, so they can help keep your RV, travel trailer, toy hauler, and boat in pristine condition and ready to sell. A true one-stop shop. Call now, 888-2233. Visit cactusrv.com or visit them at their original location on Romero, just north of Prince, during I-10 construction.
KZUB Tucson, Cumulus Media Station. The one and only home of the Jim Rome Show. Rich Eisen and DK on the Sports Tip.
You know, this is vastly different. There's a lot of clapping, a lot of hugging, a lot of handshaking.
We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
Wait, what's the CNWT? Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out,
They drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
David Amata.
Hey, that's Dragon Ball to you.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names. David Scott Kelly.
Hour number 3 on this hump day. First day of the week for us. We were off Monday, didn't have a show yesterday, and now we're back. Seems like we've been gone forever. This will be the only full show of the week. Tomorrow we're going to be out at Dave & Buster's for the start of the NFL football season. 3 to 4:30. We'll be out there because the next 2 days we'll have shows just for an hour and a half, 3 to 4:30, because we've got NFL football tomorrow night. It'll be the Chiefs and the Ravens. And then on Friday night, it'll be the Eagles and the Packers from Brazil. Now, David, you were saying that you've got some making up to do for some information you gave out earlier in the show on this particular event down in Brazil.
Yeah, no. So the Corinthians Arena, that is where Morumbi play.
Okay.
So I was wrong about that. And Colo Colo, I forget, was from Chile. My dad lived in Chile and he lived in Sao Paulo, but Colo Colo is the team that he watched when he was down in Chile.
Oh, okay.
I do have some correct
So
soccer.
you don't know the difference between Chile and Brazil.
Right.
I don't know the difference between Argentina and Brazil.
Train wreck over here.
South America is not our
I do
geographical
have
best.
some accurate soccer information today. You ready for this?
Okay, yes, please.
2 hours ago, they announced the 30 finalists for this year's Ballon d'Or, which is the best soccer player in the world.
Okay.
It's the first time in 21 years that Messi and Ronaldo are not on the list.
Wow.
That's the span of LeBron James's career in the NBA. So 21 consecutive years, either Ronaldo or Messi have been among the finalists for the player of the year. And this is the first year they haven't in a long time.
So
that
who's
came
the
out about a
favorite?
couple of hours ago.
Who's the favorite then?
I couldn't tell you. Maybe Erling. His name is too many I's in it.
Erling
Haaland.
Haaland.
Haaland, I think his name is.
Haaland.
Yeah, he is. He plays for Man City. I think he's incredible.
All right.
That dude's unbelievable.
All right. And it's called the what's it called again?
Ballon d'Or.
The Ballon d'Or. All right.
I'd say it's probably between Haaland and Mbappe. Mbappe
Okay.
has gotten a lot of attention this last year.
I don't know who's going to win this award, but if you know who's going to win the Ballon d'Or award, give us a call. Who you think's going to win the Ballon d'Or award? 520. Is it called the Ballon d'Or award or just the Ballon d'Or? Or
It's pretty prestigious, so I would imagine just the Ballon d'Or.
the Ballon d'Or. Yeah. Okay. 520-848-1290. Tell us who's going to win that award. If you know way more soccer than we do, because I know very little.
The favorite right now, betting wise, is Vinicius Jr.
Oh, we're going to talk betting here. Bet. That's not a 5-star play for BetQL, is it?
At even, I don't know.
Somebody else is going to win.
It's a 5 battered fish fillet bet in some pub in London. I guarantee that.
So yeah, let's review what happened with BetQL last week. So we've been tracking these folks for 2 weeks now because you hear their updates 3 times a day here on Wildcats Radio 1290. They give out betting advice. They have these models that they claim that they use to call this stuff and how it works. Well, this is what they gave us for college football. We'll go over the college football first, since this is what they gave us last week. I mentioned in the last hour, they gave us 2 different bets on the USC-LSU game. They told us to take USC plus the 6, which was the play, because USC obviously won that game, and LSU has been horrible in season openers. I think they are now 0 for their last 5 in season openers, and now they're talking about firing Brian Kelly. He might be gone before the guy at Florida State, Mike Norvell. Who knows? I remember when Mike Norvell was extremely hot candidate for everything coming out of Arizona State. I remember there was a time I wanted Mike Norvell to be the coach here.
Can we talk real quick about the leverage that the Seminoles may have or not have in their escape plan? Because that's all we've heard about for the last 6 months. And maybe not.
Plan,
maybe
right?
they don't have quite the leverage they once did.
Exactly.
No, the ACC lawsuit and everything else like that, it's not looking good for them right now.
Yeah, so we took the over on this game between USC and LSU, which was 64.5. It came in at 47, so we lost on that one. Indiana, they had Indiana minus 21.5 over Florida International. That came in. The Hoosiers won by 24. They had UMass beating Eastern Michigan at home, giving 3 points to Eastern Michigan. Eastern Michigan won that game by 2 touchdowns, so that was a loss. North Carolina, Minnesota, which was one of the opening games on Thursday, they told us to play the over on that at 50.5. Carolina's quarterback got hurt, and it came in under at 36. We lost on that. They did tell us to take Notre Dame +3 over Texas A&M. That was a winner. The Irish won by 10. That was way more than I thought. I thought that would be a much closer game than it turned out to be. They told us to take Boise State at Georgia State, giving 12.5. This was a shootout. Boise State only won by 11, so that was a loss. And then they told us to take the under at Wyoming and Arizona State up north, the under at 47.5. And, of course, Arizona State found their offense all of a sudden and scored. That came in at 55, so we lost on that. So 3-5. On our 5-star plays for football last week. 2-5 on our 5-star plays for baseball in each of the first 2 weeks that we've been tracking this. So baseball, we're 4-10, and overall we're 7-12 with BetQL so far. So we're not winning any money at this point. Yesterday, they told us to take the Brewers over the Cardinals on the money line. That came in a winner. Actually, that was Monday. Sorry. Monday, they told us to take the Brewers over the Cardinals. Yesterday, this was a little bit surprising. I know the Cubs have been hot. They'd won 6 in a row going into their game last night against Paul Skeens. And Skeens has not been the pitcher in the second half that he was in the first half. And they told us to take the Cubs over the Pirates on the money line. And, of course, Paul Skeens found himself last night.
Thank goodness. Oh, my goodness.
And so we lost on that one. So we're 1-1 this week on our baseball bets. The first NFL game they've given us this week is to take the Browns -2.5 over the Cowboys. Agree or disagree with that one?
I could agree with that depending on... Is Deshaun Watson gonna play? That's where the question mark comes into that.
But are you asking, is he going to play well, or just if he's going to play?
Well, no, I'm just asking if he's going to play. Right now, the defensive
is he's going to play.
The defense for the Cowboys right now is a mash unit. You've got a lot of guys that are going to be coming up as rookies because of a lot of injuries to a lot of different key positions, particularly in the defensive backfield. If you can get Deshaun Watson to have even a smidgen of his usual talent to go up against a defensive backfield, which I honestly would tell you is maybe a little bit overrated, even with their guys that would be healthy, then I think the Browns win that game and they cover that spread pretty easily. Now, what happens with Dak Prescott and the offense? I'm looking forward to the all-in that Jerry Jones was talking about, because going and rehashing Ezekiel Elliott at 32, 33 years old, I so look forward to seeing Ohio State Ezekiel Elliott back if that's really what he thinks is going to happen.
Oh, good stuff there. Good stuff there. So we'll have more BetQL 5-star plays coming up for you. We'll continue to we might just go ahead and follow this for the next couple of more weeks and see how our bets turn out. But right now we're losing money with these people.
That being said, isn't it supposed to be that the house always wins?
Isn't
that how that's supposed to go?
Like, what's the point of these betting channels if they're not going to give us information that's going to make me money?
I think when you punch a bunch of numbers into a computer, it's harder, especially college football opening week.
Yes.
Right? You're talking about like a lot of estimations about what a freshman's going to look like. Or you're talking about a lot of estimations about what the returning players have worked on, the weaknesses in their game. So I think the analytic computer models work better as the season progresses.
All right. So we'll get you more of that. Listen 3 times a day for your best betting information, or at least your betting information. It may not always be the best, but you can choose to do with it what you want. And always bet responsibly. Cricket, do you bet? Bet.
50 on black, right? Yeah, 50 on the first blackjack table.
50
you see.
on the first blackjack table.
50 on black.
You don't bet any games though, huh?
I don't really get them.
No.
I kind of get roulette. I sort of get blackjack, maybe like a little bit.
Okay.
But I just get kind of nervous because I feel like everyone's watching you.
Watching you, yeah.
You're at a table. Everyone's watching.
Yeah. People, like, in some of those card games, like, if you don't play it the right way, they'll get mad at you and stuff.
They get angry.
Well,
They're
it
serious.
affects, if you're talking about a blackjack table, like whatever cards you're taking, if you're
if
you got 20 and you're hitting, then you're messing up the person who's next.
Yeah, the next person in line. Yeah.
Like, I'm going to play this game the way I want to play it, not the way you want to play it.
We should have fun.
Blackjack is not a team sport, buddy.
Yeah, let's play however we want.
All right, cricket is back with more tickets to see the Wildcats and the Lumberjacks on Saturday. But again, we don't just give away tickets here on Wildcats Radio 1290. You have got to earn these tickets. All right, so I don't know if I gave you a caller on this one, Cricket.
Okay.
So I'm going to say caller number 2 on this.
Fair enough. You're in charge.
Yeah.
All right, so last weekend the Wildcats went over New Mexico. Tetairoa McMillan broke the U of A's record for the most receiving yards in a game. Okay, he had 304 yards.
Unbelievable.
The previous record was 283 yards. What is the name of the player who set that record? Again, whose record did T-Mac break last week with his 304-yard performance against New Mexico?
All right, and we're taking caller number 2. Caller number 2 here to 520-848-1290. Cricket is always got she's got tickets every single, so she'll have she's got tickets tomorrow, she's got tickets Friday, and she's got tickets Saturday. How'd you get all these tickets for this game this weekend?
That's a secret.
Gosh.
I know Brian Jeffries.
Gosh. Yeah.
I know Brian Jeffries.
Brian was here today.
That's
you
what
missed
I
him.
heard. I'm sorry to hear that.
See, you got to be here all day versus just
apparently
for 3 hours in the morning or 4 hours in the morning and 4 hours in the afternoon. What are you doing going home in the middle of the day?
Sorry, man.
Jeez. Do you take a nap when you go home?
I try, but I can never sleep.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I hear that. Yeah, exactly. It's tough to sleep when there's all that light out. Do you have like one of the? Do you put a mask on?
No, I can't sleep with those. No.
I used to put one of those when I had to sleep during the day. I would put one of those masks over my face. It helps.
It helps.
It helps. Yeah. So keeps the extenuate light out.
I've been looking to invest in the old blackout curtains, the ones where you just like slide it out in front of the window. I think that might be the next big purchase for me.
All right, let's. Who's up first there? Jose, is that Jose? You're on DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio 1290. Give him the question one more time, Cricket.
Okay, so last week, Wildcats went over New Mexico. Tetairoa McMillan, he broke the U of A's record for most receiving yards in a game. He had 304 yards. The previous record was 283 yards. What is the name of the player who set that record, please?
I want to say it was his own record.
His own record.
Yeah.
So you're saying Tetairoa McMillan broke Tetairoa McMillan's record?
Yes.
Jose?
Yeah.
That is incorrect.
Sorry.
Oh, man.
Thanks for calling, though.
Thank you.
Let's talk to Rich. Rich, you're on DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio 1290. Can you answer the question?
I believe the individual you're looking for is Jeremy McDaniel.
Jeremy McDaniel is correct.
Well done.
Rich, you are a smart person. You know your U of A history. Who are you taking to the game with you?
My two sons.
Oh, well, you need an extra ticket then because I'm only giving you 2.
That's okay. I'll find an extra one.
Okay. Well, if I can scrounge up a third, maybe I'll see if I can get
I bet you Rich has been listening to our show because Kelvin talks about his boy quite often.
Talks about his what? I'm sorry?
His boy. Jeremy was Kelvin's guy.
Oh, so, yeah, absolutely. That was Kelvin's boy for sure. Rich, we appreciate how long you been a U of A fan?
Well, a long time. I got my master's there in the mid-'80s, and I managed dormitories there, so I had quite a few apples.
Okay. So
Daryl Lewis was one of the guys in my hall, and so, yeah, long-timer.
Awesome. Daryl Lewis. That is a great Wildcat for sure. Rich, hang on the line. J-Dub's going to gift your information. You're going to the game on Saturday night. Have fun.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. And Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Sponsored by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Crash occurred eastbound I-10 approaching Speedway. And your backups on I-10 eastbound between Prince Road and Speedway. Also some backups on the eastbound I-10 Frontage Road approaching Grant and the eastbound I-10 Speedway off-ramp. Excessive heat warning 11 a.m. tomorrow until 8 p.m. Friday. Highs Close around 107 tomorrow, 102 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Audible. Get immersed in new worlds and ideas with Audible. Explore an incredible selection of audiobooks, podcasts, and originals, all in one easy app. There's more to imagine when you listen. Sign up for a free trial at audible.com.
Cactus RV and Marine. Visit their original location on Romero north of Prince during I-10 construction or cactusrv.com.
What do you do after celebrating 100 years in Tucson serving the community? Well, you get up the next morning and continue to do things that got you to the next 100 years.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Tune in to DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290 Thursday afternoons to compete in the Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge, where you could win money by placing a bet on the right team this football season. More info at wildcatsradio1290.com.
At Boot Barn, we believe the cowboy boot is the foundation for a life well lived. We work, we raise, we break bread, and tomorrow it starts again. This life requires a boot that supports perseverance. Ariat boots undergo 150 steps to ensure performance. Boot Barn carries over 250,000 Ariat boots nationwide, because out west, tenacity is second to none. Ariat at Boot Barn.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
Sean Furrier here for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Whether you're new to Arizona or you've been driving here for decades, we all share the same roads and the same extreme driving conditions, like extreme Arizona heat, extremely large potholes, some extremely flooded roads, and there's always extremely distracted drivers, pedestrians, and that guy who drives a scooter backwards into oncoming traffic. You're driving in the world's largest video game, stopping, starting, turning, heating up, and cooling down. And that's just your afternoon commute. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's 14 award-winning locations have been helping drivers just like you get home safely for over 60 years. With top-quality tire brands, no hidden extras, and one low price. Jack Furrier has everything you need to stay in the game, like wheel alignments, batteries, brakes, air conditioning, service at prices that won't break the bank. Ask a neighbor or friend about Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's friendly service, or stop by, make an appointment online, or call ahead to the local's choice. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen here. Join me and my compadre, Chris Brockman, every Monday on the Overreaction Monday podcast.
You're also saying the record's going to go down.
I'm saying the record's going down anyway. The guy.
I don't think you're off on this at all. Like, you're spot on here. I don't think this is an overreaction because we have no idea what we're reacting to.
Come react or overreact with us.
How could you say that? An overreaction, sir.
Overreaction Monday, wherever you listen.
It's game over. Over, man.
You've heard the term fiduciary when describing financial services, but do you know what that really means? The fiduciary standard requires firms to put the interests of the client above the interests of the financial advisor. This is Natalie Fernandez-Lee, and at Meridian Wealth Management, we intentionally structured our business as a true fiduciary and are in the minority of firms in the industry who operate that way. As I always say, our clients come first, and we mean it. Visit meridianwealthllc.com or call us at 719-1433 today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports, sponsored by Allstate. Caitlin Clark is not the only rookie making noise in the WNBA. Chicago forward Angel Reese hauled in 19 rebounds Sunday, giving her 418 total boards on the year. While the Sky lost the game to the Lynx, Reese now holds the record for most rebounds in a single season, bypassing Sylvia Fowles' previous high mark of 404 set in 2018. Her team has dropped 6 games in a row, but Reese's historic rebounding shouldn't be overlooked. Crashing the glass has always been a calling card for this former LSU star.
Just being able to go down there and being able to bang, doing things that a lot of people don't want to do. Defense and rebounding wins championships, and I've won championships at every level by just doing that. So coming into the league is something that I knew would translate.
Next up for Reese in the Sky, a clash against the 2-time defending champion Las Vegas Aces tonight. Chicago currently tied with Atlanta for that final playoff spot. With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Amy Lawrence on Westwood One.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Broken bricks, falling fences, damaged doors, Gorilla Glue. Of course. It's incredibly strong and 100% waterproof and bonds, well, virtually everything. While you're at it, look for Gorilla Tape, a heavy-duty double-thick duct tape, and Gorilla Super Glue, great for all your quick fixes and repairs. There's also Gorilla Epoxy, Gorilla Wood Glue, Gorilla Construction Adhesive. Of course. You get it. If you can break it, Gorilla can fix it. For the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Only one game in the WNBA tonight, and that is involving the Indiana Fever, who are currently winning and have won 4 in a row. So they're looking to win a 5th straight game. They have surpassed the Phoenix Mercury in the standings as the Mercury have fallen to 500. Indiana now 17-16. What did we say? They started 2-8. So they're 15-8 in their last 23 games, and surging to say the least, are the Indiana Fever. Do the Indiana Fever make the finals this year?
That's a very rough question to ask, just because there's still a couple of teams that are up there right now. I know Caitlin Clark is doing a lot to make that Indiana Fever team a very intriguing pick, but let's not get too hasty. The Liberty are a very good basketball team right now.
They are. I mean, the Liberty and the Lynx, I think, are probably the 2 teams to beat.
You can't disregard the 2-time defending champions, even if they're not playing their best ball right now.
Yeah.
They do have potentially the best player. So here's the way I see it. I don't think as good as Caitlin Clark is, I don't think any rookie has ever led their team to a professional championship.
Oh, man.
In my lifetime, right? I mean, I'm trying to think. It's so hard. That's just jumping up that level, because the difference between regular season and postseason play in all sports is always going to be elevated, especially the physicality of it. I read this week, guys, that 18% of all flagrant fouls committed in the WNBA this year have been against the Indiana Fever. I think you guys deduce why that might be. So you can imagine if they do get going, Caitlin's running around there loose and doing that Steph Curry thing she does will be much harder to do in a much more physical playoff environment.
It's going to be interesting to watch down the stretch to see how that all plays out. Again, the Mercury are kind of mercurying. They win, they lose. They win, they lose. They can't seem to get any type of consistency going. Wow. In their last 10 games, they're 5-5. Yeah, that kind of is how the whole season
kind of checks out. Yeah, kind of checks out.
Has gone for that team right there. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Arizona soccer back home tomorrow night against New Mexico State. We had a chance to get out and chat with a couple of the ladies this week. Gianna Christensen being one of those who is a leader on this team. Let's hear from Gianna on the 4-1-1 start to this 2024 season.
Nice to
Nice to come back home for a match?
Yes, definitely super nice to be able to come back and play in front of our fans. I'm from California, so it was nice going there because I saw some family, but I'm ready to be back and play a home game, definitely.
And last one before conference play. So what have you guys gotten so far out of non-conference?
Yeah, I think with the teams that we've played, we've had like a variety of different formations that we've had to play against, and obviously different fields, just different types of like outside factors that we've kind of had to deal with like on the fly, which I think that every game we've gotten progressively better and better, and we just keep getting better at kind of making those game-winning changes on the fly.
Give an example about that.
Yeah, so in our last game at UCI, we started in a specific formation, but a couple minutes into the game, we did realize that we kind of maybe needed to switch our formation to maybe get more pressure on the ball faster. So we switched our formation kind of on the fly, just like us talking on the field. So I think that kind of communication, like we have been getting better at.
6 matches in, then how much more comfortable are you guys as a unit, you feel?
Yeah, we are definitely very comfortable. I think obviously the starters definitely have a level of comfort with each other, and I think even the subs coming in, like we all have developed like this big level of comfort with one another, which I think is great, obviously going into conference.
And speaking about those connections, all of the goals this week were assisted goals, and just talk about how your passing's going, how that part of the offense is working.
Yeah, so we've been working a lot on building out of the back and then into the middle third, and then finally getting to that attacking third. So I think we've kind of broken down a lot of that, which is making it more simplified for us. So especially when we do get to the attacking third, we have a lot more options than kind of just like kicking it or just like shooting. Like we are passing it around, and we're finding like those little gaps in between. And I just think that the style that we play allows us to kind of find those little gaps and holes that we can fill in and kind of pass around and expose the other defense. But I think that especially we saw it this weekend where we kind of found those little sweet spots where we got the ball and were able to score and win.
And we'll talk to Rose in a minute, but in general, the freshmen, you had 3 new starters this weekend who were freshmen, and just what they're bringing.
Yeah, definitely. I think the freshman class, all of them, they bring like a new type of energy, I think, coming in. They're just excited to play and especially start too. So I think that kind of new, like pure energy of just like wanting to be out there and wanting to just make an impact on the team, I think that's obviously great. And along with their skill sets too that they're bringing. Just a variety of different skill sets that I think our team wasn't necessarily lacking, but I think it's enhanced with this freshman class. So it's really cool seeing that kind of play out on the field.
Gianna Christensen, second leading scorer, second in points on the Arizona soccer team. She's got 6 points behind Nicole Dallin, who's got 12 on the season. You heard the name Rose mentioned there. Rose Calkins is third on the team in points with 4. She has a goal and 2 assists. We heard from Rose as well on this final non-conference game before a 3-game road gauntlet to start Big 12 play that is on the horizon.
Just nice to be home.
Right. Yeah, of course. It was fun to be on the road for the past few days. We had a good result the past 2 games that we played. And I think it's really cool being able to bond with the team and all the experiences we've had on the road, but it's good to be home.
And you guys are playing more road games at home this year. What's that like?
I think it's good. It teaches you and your team to adjust to whatever situation you're put in. And I think that as of now, I mean, it's been great. We've won most of the games that we've had on the road, and it's been overall a really good experience.
And just as your freshman class, just what do you guys bring to this team?
I think kind of adding on to what Gianna said, there's a lot of different skill sets and a lot of new people on this team, and everyone has brought something different. Every individual is really strong on this team, and I think that every freshman is bringing something new. Like you said in that other question, we had 3 starters as freshmen, which was super cool to see, and just the impact that they've been making. It's been awesome to experience, and me being a freshman as well, it's been really cool to be able to make a change on and off the field.
Gianna said pure energy. Is that how you describe it?
Yeah, I think that every freshman just wants to compete. They want to win. I think that everyone is putting in their all, and all the freshmen are definitely a lot of energy.
Before you guys got here, the freshman class, how much were you able to, I know a lot of them have like group chats and stuff, how much were you able to learn about each other?
Yeah, so with ECNL, which is the league we played in before we came to college, or most of us, I guess, except one player, we all kind of got to see each other at these showcases that we were at. So we kind of communicated there. We had group chats that we were talking over social media, kind of just following along with each other and asking how each other's club seasons have been going, high school and whatnot. So it was good to kind of get to know everyone and understand what we had coming in.
All right, that was Rose Calkins talking before tomorrow night's game against New Mexico State. Man, all of this talk about pure energy, guys, has me going back to the 1980s over here.
It's worked so far, but we're not out yet.
I want to know what you're thinking. There are some things you can't hide. I want to know what you're feeling. Tell me what's on your mind.
Pure energy. Pure energy.
You know this group? Remember this group here?
It sounds kind of like Tears for Fears or something like that.
Tears for Fears. That's actually not a bad guess there.
I was alive during this stretch, so I remember this type of music for sure.
How about Information Society? Pure
There's
energy.
a lot of those synth groups, I think. I don't know their names, but I've heard this song hundreds of times.
Good stuff there. Good stuff there. All right. Pure energy from Information Society. Pure energy. That's what we're getting from Arizona soccer through these first 6 games. I like it. They will be back on the Murphy Field pitch at Mulcahy Stadium tomorrow night to take on New Mexico State. Get on out there and support the ladies. Again, it's the final home game before the start of Big 12 play. Finally, they'll be the first. They'll be the first to play in the Big 12. Will soccer, and it begins ironically, both the football team and the soccer team will play their first Big 12 games at Salt Lake City against Utah. The ladies will do so a week from this Thursday, the 12th. They'll travel to take on Utah. That'll be the only game they'll play there. So they do not play, they host BYU this year. It's a little bit different. We went over the scheduling a couple of weeks ago and how it works in terms of the soccer schedule. This is their split where they'll play at Utah but home against BYU, whereas the next 2 games will be a Texas twosome in which they'll play Thursday night, the 19th, at Baylor, and then Sunday, the 22nd, at TCU. So we still do, and if you weren't with us a few weeks ago, we still do have the travel partner concept that we had in the Pac-12. They've set it up that way, at least initially in the Big 12, in terms of the soccer and the volleyball schedules. So we anticipate, if that's the way they're doing the scheduling for for soccer and volleyball, that's probably the way they'll do it for basketball as well. We'll still have the travel partner scenario where you go to play teams like Baylor, TCU, and then Cincinnati, West Virginia, et cetera,
It
and
makes
so
sense
forth.
to do it. They have to, with the travel. But the question then is like your UCF, Morgantown, like those kind of, the ones that aren't the obvious, don't have the obvious travel partner. Right?
Yeah, UCF is kind of out there by themselves.
Yeah,
there isn't really anyone to connect them with. So that's, in terms of, I think, the Western teams, that's where you're going to get that kind of as a one-off. You'll go there, they'll come here, but there might not be another game that goes along with that per se. Or they could also split up Cincinnati and West Virginia, and you play it that way as well, which is still a little bit more travel going from Florida to Ohio or West Virginia, but that's kind of the way that this is going to be in the new life of the Big 12. All right, final segment coming up. Cricket gets you home every 20 minutes on the Fives. We'll have our Desert Diamond Casino replay straight ahead.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic. Midtown roadworks slowing you down east and westbound on Grant Road, east of Country Club to west of Alvernon Way. Travel down to one lane, and also Dodge Boulevard south of Grant Road is closed, and downtown roadwork on Stone Avenue between Alameda Street and Pennington Street. And that's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's new Saucy Nugs, a whole new way to nug. The best nugs are now even better. Wendy's new Saucy Nugs take the nugs you love and sauce them up in bold flavors, including buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, and spicy ghost pepper. Try them all today. For a whole new way to nug, it's gotta be Wendy's, a participating U.S. Wendy's.
The Irish roll on. I'm Joe Ostrowski here to help you beat the books with BetQL. Notre Dame emerged with a big road win in their opener against Texas A&M, and now they gear up for their home opener in South Bend. The Irish are 4-touchdown home favorites against Northern Illinois, and the BetQL model is backing ND. Notre Dame minus 28 is a 5-star best bet. I'm Joe Ostrowski. Bet smarter, beat the books. Download the BetQL and BetMGM apps today.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them.
With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures.
It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
What's with the earmuffs, Gary?
Holy cannoli. I just got back from a house with the loudest AC I've ever heard.
In other words, it wasn't installed right.
It must have been installed upside down for all that noise.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
If your air conditioner sounds like...
It could sound like...
We stop vibrations so your AC runs smooth and cool.
People all over Arizona are singing about the Grizzly.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
Shh, hear that?
I don't hear anything.
That means...
The Grizzly is doing its job, keeping you cool
with barely a purr.
We believe ACs should sound like this.
Because we do things the Alaskan way, not the cheap way.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.com.
Cactus RV and Marine. Visit their original location on Romero north of Prince during I-10 construction or cactusrv.com.
O'Reilly.
Need a little help? O'Reilly Auto Parts can help. Need advice? We've got advice. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Exceptional customer service. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
Welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Wildcats Radio 1290 is proud to support your Arizona Wildcat football team as they continue their season with another home game this Saturday at Arizona Stadium.
This week, the Cats take on NAU. Kickoff is scheduled for 7 p.m.
To get your tickets, visit ArizonaWildcats.com or call 621-CATS. For more University of Arizona Wildcat football, including a complete schedule and link to buy tickets online, log on to WildcatsRadio1290.com.
Up to a 30% upfront bonus and 12% per year guaranteed growth for retirement. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and these are the highest guarantees with annuities I have seen in my life. When interest rates are this high, there are silver linings, and annuity guarantees are one of them. Up to a 30% bonus upfront for retirement income. On $100,000, that's up to $42,000 guaranteed in the first year. And it's because of the economy and its high interest rates. Don't let anyone, especially another financial advisor, tell you it's not true. Up to 30% upfront just for opening an account and up to 12% per year guaranteed income growth. Don't miss out. This won't last forever. If you have an old 401k, get up to 30% upfront and 12% guaranteed growth for income today. Call 321-4100. That's 321-4100.
Guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
This is Zach Gelb with the Sports Minute, sponsored by BetMGM, the sportsbook board in Vegas. Please gamble responsibly. This is what Hall of Famer Champ Bailey told me about Pat Surtain II.
I expect him to go to as many Pro Bowls as I did, be a first ballot Hall of Famer, all these things. All he has to do is stay healthy. And that's the only thing that can get in his way, because when he plays, he's the best.
And obviously the Broncos agreed with Champ by giving Pat a 4-year extension worth $96 million. I'm Zach Gelb.
Arizona football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown, and he throws an awesome block so his teammate can score instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. Everyone knows the most exciting part of football is the score. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. Place a first touchdown scorer wager today. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years of age or older to wager. Arizona only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, if you were listening during that last stop set, we got our first college football play of the week from the folks at BetQL, and they suggest taking Notre Dame in their home opener and laying the 28 points against the Huskies of Northern Illinois. Do we like that play, guys? Notre Dame minus 4 touchdowns at home against Northern Illinois.
Remind me again what Northern Illinois' mascot is, and I'll
the
tell you.
Huskies. They're
no.
the Huskies.
I don't think the Huskies
do
are going to.
we not like Huskies? We don't like any Huskies. 28.
28.
Yeah.
It's a big number, but I think Notre Dame has some things to prove.
We don't like the Northern Illinois Huskies. We don't like the Washington Huskies. We don't like the Connecticut Huskies. Just anything with a Husky, we don't like it. For sure.
I do like Huskies, though, in general. Those are great dogs.
The dogs are great. They're very funny. They like to talk a lot. The thing is that for me, something about this just smells wrong to me. I don't know. Maybe it's the smell of wet dog in the air. I don't know what. But
wet Husky.
This is just Notre Dame struggled last season against ranked teams. And that's what I kind of expected last season. This season, I almost want to say they'll do well against ranked opponents. They're going to find a way to just flub at the worst possible moment. And I think that it could be this one here. I actually think Northern Illinois might give them a little bit of a run for their money in the first half. I don't think Notre Dame covers this.
Ooh,
it's going to be
right.
a scary game for Notre Dame.
So you are not taking the 5-star
going
play.
to give them a run for the money like Iditarod and Husky Dogs.
Yes.
Running for the money for the finish line.
Trying to go ahead and get the trying to get that antitoxin like Balto.
Sure.
That's a bucket list. Maybe go up and see the Iditarod at some point.
Oh, it's too cold for me. I couldn't do it.
I've been to Alaska once, but it was not in the winter. No, it was at the time when there's 1 hour of sun of darkness, right?
Okay.
Like the opposite. Yeah.
So I think if we're going to be talking about BetQL a lot, I think we got to make this a part of it. This is like one of my favorite all time. I don't know if you guys grew up watching the Flintstones, but this is one of my favorite all time Flintstone bits right here. So if you're watching on one of our many video streams, we've got YouTube, we've got Facebook, we've got Twitch. Here is degenerate gambler Fred Flintstone.
Hey, Fred, open up. What do you want? How about a game of marbles, Fred?
Marbles? Come right in, boy. I need somebody to practice with. I have to get real good.
Why, Fred?
I got my reasons.
Hey, tell you what, Fred. We'll play for a nickel if you want to bet.
Bet?
Yeah, that's the only word you need.
It's one of my favorite. We're gonna work that in as some type of promo or intro when we talk about our betting lines that we're giving out from BetQL. Bet. Ah, funny times. All right.
Put it on the to-do list.
There you go. There's a lot on the to-do list. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. The game of the week, though, is Texas at Michigan. That should be an interesting one. And you may have also heard we're bringing back our Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge this year. So that'll be every Thursday. Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge. You know how it works if you were with us last year. I picked the game. Can you pick the winner? I picked the game. Can you pick the winner? And if you do, you're going to win some pretty nice fancy prizes. What was the winning? $25? I think it was a $25 gift card.
No, it was $25 basket of goodies if you lost. And like $50, I think. It rolled over. So
it rolled
over. It was a $25 cash guard, but if you had 3 or 4 weeks in a row, it got up to I think $100 was the most we gave away.
So it's $25 gift card. If you lose and I win, then it rolls over to next week, and the person will have a chance for $50. And like J-Dub said, I think at one point it got up to I won a lot. And it got up to $100 because that's how it works. I'm always going to win a lot because I know football. Don't tell the people that I'm in a fantasy league with because my team was terrible last year.
This might be semantics, but can you actually win if you don't have anything to do with the bet? Because they're the ones betting.
Right.
You're the ones picking the game.
Yeah, they're picking it. But,
if they lose, you
I can
win.
kind of coax them into maybe making a decision.
Sure.
The picking of the game is strategic. I might pick a certain game because I think they might go a certain way, and I'm going to win too. So I'm already thinking about what that game is going to be. Join us tomorrow again, only on from 3 to 4:30. We'll be live at Dave and Buster's. Come on out and see us, and you might have a chance to get in on the Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge. All right,
it's going to be in the famous Ecuadorian soccer stadium. That
right.
They're playing in. I just figured since we covered all the South American countries, I might as well hit up some.
Right.
Ecuador, get another one.
Exactly.
Eventually, it'll be the halftime show will be in Panama.
That guy Messi was awesome for Ecuador, man. He's a heck of a player.
Yeah, you're going to start getting some hate mail. The more, I do know one thing.
Who's this guy saying Messi played for Brazil?
I know one thing about Brazilians and Argentinians is that they take that very seriously.
Oh, yeah. No, it'd be worse if you went ahead and tried to say that he was from Uruguay. That would have been the absolute biggest faux pas.
Man.
Maybe Great Britain, but that's a whole nother story.
All right, let's give you your Desert Diamond Casino replay for today.
And now, the best thing you will hear all day.
Hachi-machi!
It's time for the Wildcat Radio Replay. In case you missed this earlier in the day, we now bring you the best of 1290. It's made possible by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, Tetairoa McMillan with a career night last Saturday night, 304 yards. He was limited during fall camp. We got there, and he was doing a lot of drills on the side with Cullen Carroll and the strength and conditioning staff. And he was asked by the great Michael Leff, who will join us on the show tomorrow, columnist from the Arizona Daily Star, what he got out of all that training that he was doing on the side during camp.
Oh, shoot, just how blessed I am, man. Not too many people get to do what we do. There's a lot of people in the world that dream to be in the position that we are. Just me being out for a little while, just in the back, just seeing what everybody else is doing, and football being taken away from me for a little amount of time, just really just allowed me to be grateful for the whole situation. Just every opportunity I get, God has blessed me with amazing things and amazing opportunities, and shoot, hopefully I can go out there and, do his will.
The play where you outran the defense, was that kind of one of those ones that you and Noah have a thing where you just knew that spot wasn't right and you needed to go somewhere else and he saw you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was funny that we were talking about this yesterday. We was just rewatching the play, and I was just like, man, is this like one of our best chemistry moments right here? We speak about it a lot, just our relationship off the field is correlates to on the field. And, you can obviously see that in that play, just him knowing that I was going to the next window and me knowing that he was going to throw me to the next window. It was just night and day, and I'm just happy we made a play.
Were you surprised at how little they were doubling you, that it was single almost all the time or zone?
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure I was surprised, but, you know, I got to expect that every week to, you know, get double coverage. But that just opens up everybody else's opportunities, you know. It's just, at the end of the day, it's just not me playing the football game out there. There's 3 more receivers on the team, so it gives a chance for everybody to be successful.
What's the origin story behind yours and Noah's touchdown celebration?
Oh, no, there's not really no origin story, but shoot, you know, we've been doing this since we was 14 years old. So every chance that we get to score 6 points together, you know, him throwing me the ball, or shoot, hopefully me throwing him the ball someday, who knows? But every chance we get to do our little handshake after the touchdown is just a blessing. Not too many people get to do what we do. I think we just kind of put it together when, you know, we were just little kids, just having fun, 14 years old, like I said, 8th grade, you know, just out there just, man, we need to come up with something, you know. So that's what we came up with.
That was the Wildcat Radio Replay with the best of the best from 1290. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
Great question by Damien. That's actually something that I've been wanting to know, too, what was behind or how they came up with that thing. They kind of do the hand slap thing, and then it almost looks, I think Tetairoa is kind of doing the LeBron smoke, and then like Noah pulls an arrow out of this back of his jersey and shoots it into the air. There's a lot of different things going on there, but it is a cool celebration that they have going on after every single touchdown that they connect on. And there's been quite a few we've seen in the last few games here at the University of Arizona. All right, that is going to wrap up our show for today. Thanks to J.W. Madden, thanks to Cricket, and as well thanks to Dragon Ball. Again, we're back with you tomorrow at 3 o'clock from Dave and Buster's, kicking off the 2024 NFL season. We'll talk some NFL football and get you ready for the game between the Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens. Until that time, my name is David Kelly. That is our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. Talk to you tomorrow, 3 o'clock, DK on the Sports Tip. You are listening to Wildcats Radio 1290. Have a great evening, everybody.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic. Midtown Roadworks slowing you down east and westbound on Grant Road east of Country Club to west of Alvernon Way. Travel down to 1 lane, and also Dodge Boulevard south of Grant Road is closed, and downtown roadwork on Stone Avenue between Alameda Street and Pennington Street. And that's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, N.A., copyright 2024.
Escape the ordinary and indulge in a world of excitement at Park Place Mall. Discover endless possibilities with over 100 stores, restaurants, and entertainment options. Join them for the monthly Kids Club, Yappy Hour, and seasonal events. From fashion to food, it's all at Park Place Mall, where you belong.
Marco! Polo! Marco! Polo!
In a giant pool of business competitors, don't be the one left unseen and out of reach. If you're a business owner and need help with your online presence, let's make it happen. Introducing Cumulus Boost. Boost your website. Boost your findability. Boost your reputation. Boost your business.
Marco?
Yes, I'm Marco. Get a boost, get found, get on the map. Contact us today at cumulusboost.com.
The more time that passes, the more important it is to remind our nation about the heartbreak and heroism of September 11th, 2001. Join your neighbors this September 11th at the Tucson Convention Center to climb the same number of steps as the World Trade Center towers, or as many as you can, to memorialize the brave first responders who ran toward danger that day. All proceeds benefit local first responders and military charities. General donations are also accepted. Register today at 911towerchallengefoundation.org.
Up to a 30% upfront bonus and 12% per year guaranteed growth for retirement. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and these are the highest guarantees with annuities I have seen in my life. When interest rates are this high, there are silver linings, and annuity guarantees are one of them. Up to a 30% bonus upfront for retirement income. On $100,000, that's up to $42,000 guaranteed in the first year. And it's because of the economy and its high interest rates. Don't let anyone, especially another financial advisor, tell you it's not true. Up to 30% upfront just for opening an account and up to 12% per year guaranteed income growth. Don't miss out. This won't last forever. If you have an old 401k, get up to 30% upfront and 12% guaranteed growth for income today.
Call 321-4100. That's 321-4100. Guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
Cactus RV and Marine, now offering consignments on RVs, travel trailers, boats, trucks, cars, and SUVs. Sell without the hassle and let Cactus RV do it for you. Cactus RV and Marine is also a local independent service center, so they can help keep your RV, travel trailer, toy hauler, and boat in pristine condition and ready to sell. A true one-stop shop. Call now, 888-2233. Visit cactusrv.com or visit them at their original location on Romero, just north of Prince, during I-10 construction.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now, but I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SCORE for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SCORE for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SCORE.
He's kind and he's funny and he's also mustachioed. He solves all your problems by the end of every episode. TV Dad. Everyone loves TV Dad. TV Dad. Unlike your real dad, he never hollers. And he tells you how Progressive can save you lots of dollars.
Listen to your TV Dad. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary.
3 little words no parent wants to hear.
My tummy hurts.
And it always seems to happen at the worst times. Like in the middle of the morning rush, when you still have homework to check and lunches to pack, and of course, you're already late for work. Luckily, there's Pepto Kids. Pepto Kids chewables provide fast relief for common stomach issues, turning those 3 words into these 3 words.
I feel better.
Bad time for stomach upsets? Good time for Pepto Kids chewables. Fast relief for little tummies. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. You're listening to the flagship of Arizona Wildcats athletics. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
You're listening to the JR Sport Brief.
It is the JR Sport Brief show here with you on the Infinity Sports Network. I'm coming to you live from Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you to everybody tuned in and locked in all over North America. I'm in Atlanta. Whether you're here in Georgia or Florida, if you're in Tallahassee, my apologies for that crap football team you got to watch with Florida State. If you're in California, good for you. If you're in Canada, hello, friends. And shout outs to everybody. It don't matter where you at, thank you for being here. I'm being joined by super producer and host Ryan Hickey. He's in New York City. And you, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, I hope you're safe, I hope you're well, I hope you're good. And if you're not, let's have some damn fun, okay? This show gets started every single weekday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific. How can you listen to every minute, every second, every hour? The free Odyssey app. It's free. Yeah, I'm giving you something free. Go download it. You can always listen on your local Infinity Sports Network affiliate. It depends on where you live. If you got SiriusXM, it's channel 158. If you have a smart speaker, ask the speaker to play the Infinity Sports Network, and boom, we pop right on up. We've had a fun show. The NFL is less than 24 hours away from starting its 2024 season, and so we've been in full NFL mode. Yeah, we've talked some college football. We talked Caitlin Clark, which, by the way, Caitlin Clark just won another game. They beat Los Angeles in the Indiana Fever, improved their record to 18-16. They beat them 93-86.